Maybe let's settle down a bit. We're told that there's to see the skills academy, and then we'll back. Maybe chairperson of council, when we come back with the parents straight so we will do the welcome opening and welcome when we come. We will do the introduction. So I don't know from the college side, how have you prepared the numbers in terms of those that are going to the academy? But obviously my Parliament TV would like you to go so that we're able to see the skills academy there. So from our side, all members and the support will go with us. And then I don't know from the college side who is going to we will welcome you guys when we come back. But members, I just want to indicate that when we went to do oversight in the Northwest, the regional manager, because the regional manager of Northwestern Mpumalanga, right? He brought principals of Mpumalanga there. And I see even today that he has brought the principal of Nkangala and Ntlhanzeni to this meeting. I think he's preparing them for yourself as principals. What happens here might not happen. So there's no preparation. There's no enough preparation, regional manager, that will do. This member, I don't know where they get the time to read. They read so much. So when you get the principal, they'll even tell you, coming here, you're the punch. I don't know where they get this intelligence, but they've got so much intelligence. So I'm told it's 5 minutes or so away. So it's 20 to 10. If you can come back here by 10:30. Latest, if we can start at 11 this side, so that at least we have the whole day. At least we don't live here, because we're not sleeping here in Standerton. Because of the anticipated challenges we're going to have here, we decided not to sleep here, so that that's on a lighter note. So at least if we're late, regional manager, by 7 o'clock we want to leave. We don't want to go beyond. So at least if we can start by 7. So those of you who must go fetch children from school, at least let's start making arrangements. Or even after care, 5 hours supposed to fetch. Let's send somebody, write a letter so that the school can release a child. So maybe let's go to the skills academy, then we'll come back possibly 10:30, 11 o'clock, team principal. Okay, and then we'll do the introduction. Then apologies for speaking without knowing who's here. So yeah, let's go quickly, then come back. Thanks.
Colleagues, thank you. Those of you that are joining us at the skills, there's transport arranged. So the TVET officials, there are some combis, is that correct? And the executive and council. The rest of you, we will meet you just now. Thank you.
Welcome back, colleagues. It is now 11:10. I think we will start with our meeting now. Those of you who did not attend the walkabout at the skills center, the regional manager wanted to keep us there as long as possible. And I told him that we know those tricks. Every year, at least 3 times every year, we go and do oversight. So the plan is always to keep us looking at the infrastructure. But on a serious note, let me take this opportunity to thank you, the leadership of Gert Sibande, for hosting us. The department, we're told that there's an acting DG who's acting on behalf of the DG in the MCP. And okay. So she sent her apology to the minister's office. We don't have that apology. We'll check with our office. We don't have it. When we do introduction, you'll get to know the 2 gentlemen who spoke. One of them is from the department, and one of them is from the minister's office. So the acting DG, who's been approved to be acting DG, has sent an apology to the minister for our meeting. So we note that part. Maybe most of the time we take it for granted that when we do oversight, that members of the portfolio, we don't appreciate the effort that they put. And at the beginning of this, we're here in Mpumalanga for the whole week. So we're here in Sibande today. We are tomorrow in Nkangala. Wednesday we are in Ntlhanzeni. Thursday we are visiting University of Mpumalanga. On Friday we're going to see the CETA NSF funded projects in and around Mbombela. And then in the afternoon we're attending the inauguration of the Vice Chancellor of University of Mpumalanga. So we're here for the whole week. And these members will be with us for the whole week. They slept in Gauteng last night. They woke up, they drove here. And like I said, acting principal, when we leave here, we're not sleeping here because we're anticipating that the meeting might not go well. And so we don't want them to sleep next to an institution, where, including tomorrow in Kangala. We're not sleeping. We're sleeping there today. After the meeting with them, we're leaving. So that at least let them take an effort to get to us. If there's anything, I mean, that's on a lighter note. I hope my joke was not taken out of context. So these members will be with us for the whole week, and want to take this opportunity, members, to thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule. Yesterday and Saturday, they were busy with voter registration. Worked the whole day, and then they traveled from their provinces to Gauteng. In this team, I'm the only one who was in Gauteng. The rest, they flew in. Others who come from smaller provinces like your Northern Cape, there's no flights after about 5 there, so they will fly in this morning to Johannesburg and then drive this way. That is why you see that we don't have a full team. It's because of those ones who come from the flight that you feel like at 3, but at 3 o'clock, it's like when you're in Tata, they tell you if you can't find a you'll leave tomorrow. You see, so but we want to thank them. After working so hard over the weekend, they are here with us. I want to thank Council for hosting us with the management of the institution. I want to thank the regional leadership for preparations. I see regional, the way our intelligence is regional manager. I can't remember who I was talking to, and I was telling them that I know that 2 weeks back you had a meeting with the college to prepare for the visit. Last week you had a meeting to prepare. So I was telling somebody about 2 weeks back. Unfortunately, you don't know what we are going to ask, so we are just preparing. But I can see the preparation. You even got somebody to drip the place. So it's, and I think you've done your homework because you've put the right colors, of the right team. In South African football, they wear like this. I don't want to talk about teams because they always accuse me of favoring somebody over the other. But all staff of Sibande, the department, the TVET branch of the department, we don't take it for granted, including the exams, part of the department. We don't take it for granted. The minister's team led by the PLO, we don't take you coming here as for granted. We really appreciate. Unions, we don't take, we appreciate you being here, and are hoping that we'll have an interaction that is progressive. And the student, the SRCs, staff of Sibande and everybody, NSFAS, students, if there are any issues with NSFAS, please tell us. Maybe we must put administration under administration if they don't do well. Leadership, let's not charge them. So that they charge. The labor relations office there in the department also got this about charger. But yeah, if there's anybody, David, thank you very much. The office of the DG. Yeah, thanks for being here. I'm told that the DG is on his way to China. Yeah, and Mampushan is the acting. Okay. We all know, colleagues, that at least in this committee, TVET colleges matter to us. They matter because if they are doing what they're supposed to be doing, they will be the country's response, firstly, to access to institutions of higher learning. This year alone, we have almost 1 million matriculants writing matric. Universities, they have, last year they had 252,000 spaces, which leaves about 750,000 of students or potential students who might not get into universities. This did not give us the numbers we wanted last year. They only had about 171,000 F10 spaces available, which is something we did not agree with, because we had agreed that the reason we're moving into occupational program is to respond firstly to country's need, but also to industry's needs. And if you are only going to have spaces of a fifth of the numbers that are writing matric, you're definitely not responding to community problems. We also have about 3.8 million young people who are neither in employment, education, or training as we speak, with about the latest stats saying just over 31% of the 60 plus million people who are in South Africa, or who are South Africans, are unemployed. So 1/3 of the population is unemployed, the majority of them being young people. TVET colleges become, or should become, a beacon of hope for those, especially in making sure that we produce graduates who are not going to graduate for the streets. So what we produce should be material that is needed by industry, like your technicians, your artisans, basically the skills that the economy needs right now. TVET colleges should be able to help us with that. We're very happy when we are at the skill center. I think, Principal, when we were planning the trip, maybe you went through our hearts and you understand that artisans and technicians are very close to this member, at least members' hearts. So you might have softened their hearts a bit with you taking us that side. So, but today when we're here, we will engage with you, colleagues, honestly, robustly. The robustness of members must not be misconstrued for disrespect. Sometimes I give them very little time because we can't be here until 1 a.m. Not because we're afraid to be until 1 a.m. We must still travel. So when they ask you a question, let me make an example. Honorable Msezana asks SRC for an example. Is question X relevant to you or not? And the answer requires yes or no. You can say yes, but if you feel like there's some context that you want to give, just note it on the side and let me know. And then during my time, I'll give you to give context, because they may have very limited time and they want to cover as much as possible. They may not be patient with you answering a question they've not asked. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm trying to explain that please bear with them. If they ask you a yes or no question, regional manager, that did you wake up this morning? And if you start saying that I've just drank water, you're not responding to the question. And you responding saying I've just drank water is not a wrong answer. It's just the right answer to the wrong question. The answer will then be, indeed, I woke up this morning. You don't even have to say I woke up at 4. Our approach is guided by the 3 principles in the main. We'd really appreciate if we are transparent, if we're evidence-based, because I know these members, they get a lot of emails and WhatsApps to people who may have interest in the space where you are. And the third one will be constructive engagement. So those are the 3 main principles that our meetings will be based on: the transparency, evidence, and constructive management. I want to ask council and management to engage with us openly, including on difficult matters, and where there are challenges, whether governance related or operational. Would rather hear them from you directly than for members to inform you that they know those things. Where there are successes and innovations, Principal, that are happening at the college, please don't hold back. Tell us about those so that we can even share those successes and so forth with other institutions. They can become models. Obviously, there can be no institution without, there can be no TVET without. So students would want to hear from you. I know sometimes almost all of us here used to be students, student leaders. I know it's very difficult sometimes to speak in front of the leadership of the institute, but would want to hear the lived experiences of. So if you don't tell it like it is, you'll be betraying somebody out there. And those students might be watching. So would really appreciate if you can be as honest as possible. In most instances, Principal, maybe I'm exaggerating, but in some instances, because of the scourge of gender-based violence, TVET colleges do experience gender-based violence. And in most cases that are reported in institutions of higher learning, it's the lecturers who are male in the main who abuse students who are female. It's very rare where you get lecturers who are female being accused of GBV against students who are male. So we'd want to hear if you have such in this instance. The reason I'm mentioning this at the beginning now, Principal, is 2025 was not a good year for female students in the PSET system. From TVET colleges, universities, including those young people who are female, experienced bad GBV. Like a lecture that they've, as most, was that even after these young girls, courageous young girls would have reported or gotten the courage from somewhere to report against these big people who are male and in powerful positions, they would have reported and the system would have failed because the system would have then taken the side of the males. So if there are issues of GBV, last year we lost a 19-year-old girl who committed suicide. She somehow got the courage to report that an SRC person in one of our institutions, an SRC person sexually abused her. And then when she reported to a leader or leadership of the institution that was led by a female, the institution failed her and she felt she could not take it and it took her life. It was not the only case. We had the same in Bloemfontein, 9 cases of sexual harassment in 1 year. All of them male lecture students, and they were not even suspended. I think the explanation we got there was that we've put them in the East Block and students will attend in the West Block. Leadership an institution being a female. Female young people having the courage to report. We always say that GBV in South Africa is underreported, and we must make sure that we give people courage to report. But when they report, we put everything else on the table to be against the victim. So I thought students, if they are such, I needed to place an emphasis that leadership. Let's think about those people. I made an example about one who killed herself in Eastern Cape, 19 years old, because the system failed. If there's any, please report. So we're going to give members here at least to start introducing ourselves. After introduction, I'm going to give you chair to welcome us. You'll welcome us just when you know. But I thought I must just give you context. Then no problem. Before welcome. So we'll ask everybody to introduce themselves. When you introduce yourself, please indicate your name, obviously full name, title, and institution you represent. So that thing when you don't say I'm campus manager, because you might be a campus manager of the skills branch, but we don't know, or the skills academy. Some, when we introduce ourselves, don't say campus manager Gert Sibande. Gert Sibande has got many campuses, so you clarify. If you maybe that example should be enough, but or don't say I work in the labor relations office. Let's make it clear when the members will use this one. We'll start with members.
And Bulisa Slado, Mbongi Tuba, governor is excited that in Kulumis Kros Ngatet. Is that sometimes I'm contacted by someone who's not here, but
good morning to everyone who haven't greeted and to our colleagues and the
Thank you. Good morning, colleagues. My name is Promise Ngema.
And all stakeholders. My name is Mampaho Mudiba, the Committee Content Advisor.
Good morning, everyone. Agnetha Ardens, the researcher for this committee. Thank you.
Morning, Chair. Morning, everyone. I am Tando Kolo Potoman. I'm a committee assistant.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Aneli Kabinges, and I'm the committee secretary. Thank you very much.
Morning, honorable members and Chair. Thank you very much. My name is Sonwabile Ngweza, PLO in the Office of the Minister, Higher Education. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and members of Honorable Court. My name is Tembam Sipa from the Department of Higher Education and Training within the TVET branch. I'm the Chief Director responsible for TVET systems planning and institutional support.
Good morning, Chairperson and honorable members. My name is Malusi Ramorok. I'm the Acting Chief Director, TVET and CET Exams, Department of Education and Training.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members. Nick Balkrishnan, Regional Manager for Northwest and Mpumalanga.
Morning, Chair. Morning, honorable members. Good morning, colleagues. My name is Tuzi Wivere. I'm the Acting Chief Director for TVET Programs and Qualifications at the Department of Higher Education and Training.
Morning, Chair, honorable members and colleagues. My name is Fikile Hugo, the Acting Chief Director, HRMND. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members, and good morning, colleagues. My name is Jan Manana. I'm a Deputy Director Corporate for Northwest and Mpumalanga Regional Office.
Gentleman in the corner, please repeat please repeat your introduction.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members and colleagues. My name is Fikile Hugo, Acting Chief Director, HRMND. Thank you. Human Resource Management and Development in the Department of Education and Training. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Morning, Chair. Morning, everyone. My name is Tumelo Mukubiani, the Acting Deputy Principal Corporate Services within Sibande TVET College. Thanks.
Tumelo.
Morning, Chair. Morning, honorable members. My name is Bongane Longolo, the Acting HR Manager at Sibande TVET College. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair, honorable members, and all the college staff members, including the SRC members. My name is Regina Mamche. I'm the Student Support Services Manager of Sibande TVET College. Thank you.
Assistant Director Supply Chain Management, Sibande TVET College. Thank you.
Stand in. What did you say? What do you do at Supply Chain?
Assistant Director.
Oh, Assistant Director. I thought you said I'm stand in. Okay.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. My name and the House at Large. My name is Simpi. I'm the campus manager at Emelo campus at Sibande TVET College.
You only have one name, Simpi.
Castro.
Oh.
Yes, Chair.
Castro Simpi.
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Chairperson, honorable members, DHEAD, and everyone. My name is Tulani Ramasetla, and I'm the Council Chairperson for Sibande TVET College. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairperson and honorable members of Portfolio Committee and the whole DHET officials present. My name is Zipelele Zine Beku, Matala, Acting Principal of the College. Thank you, Chair.
Morning, Chairperson and honorable members and the college staff and SRC. My name is Thabo Ngwenya, Acting Campus Manager, Skills Academy and Development, Artisan Development Center. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. My name is Ndiferani Rapuru, the Acting Deputy Principal Finance.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members and all officials present here today. I'm Neelan Govender, Campus Manager of Standerton Campus.
Good morning, Chair.
Tata Govender, where I come from, if you are hosting us here, after introducing yourself, they say Kukwamla. So this is your house.
No, good morning, Chair and honorable members and all officials attended. My name is Puti. The name is Mudiba, the Deputy Principal Academic Services of Sibande TVET College. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning to all the members. My name is Tobozani Shabadala. I'm a Deputy Chair of Council for Gert. Yes. Good morning, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, and all officials. I'm Cedric Lachwayo, the Acting Campus Manager, Perdekop Campus. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair, and Honorable Members and colleagues. Bafana Mota, the Acting Deputy Principal for Partnership. Thank you. From Sibande TVET College.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members. Good morning, colleagues. My name is Kane Mainela. I'm the Principal of Nkangala TVET College. Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members. My name is Elias Mbuyane, the Principal for Ihlanzeni TVET College.
And both of you are here on, you are observing.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Members, colleagues, my name is Sandile, my surname is Chamane. I am the Director of Labor Relations at Head Office, Higher Education and Training. Thank you.
And you are not on oversight to look at who to charge.
The bag is closer to me. If anything happens, the charge sheet will be just thrown next close to me. I'm kidding. Let me correct this. I don't charge people, but I facilitate the process.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sithabe Lusanda, the SRC President for the all Gert Sibande TVET College 6 campuses. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, honorable members and the House at large. My name is Dando Mswidi, the SRC Secretary General. I am from Palfo Campus. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair, and honorable members and all colleagues from Gert Sibande TVET College and our supporting colleges in Mpumalanga. My name is Dumisani Zwane. I'm an APTOSA rep. I'm part of the labor representation in this meeting. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning to the honorable members and everyone. My name is Moneti Nyoka. I'm from Student Accommodation, NSFAS.
Good morning, Chair, honorable members and colleagues. My name is Kaya Ndima. I am the Acting Senior Manager for TVET Support at NSFAS.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. My name is Wandisile Kachana, Specialist at Operations at NSFAS. Thanks.
Good morning, Chair, honorable members and everyone. My name is Nondomiso Sidunda. I am the Acting Director responsible for infrastructure at the National Skills Fund. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Morning, honorable members, colleagues. My name is David Muhlame, Parliamentary Liaison Officer in the Office of the DG.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, colleagues. My name is Ms. Masilo Tlokeho Talatala. I am the Director for College Systems, Infrastructure and Development at the Department, Head Office based. Thank you very much.
My name is Moneti Nyoka. I'm from Student Accommodation, responsible for Mpumalanga as well as Northwest Provinces, NSFAS.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mansiliso Malike, Senior Admin Officer from Department of Higher Education and Training and the Infrastructure Support Unit. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tukiso Molokwani. I'm Assistant Director at Department of Higher Education and Training, Infrastructure Support Unit. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tamisi Milane. I'm a union representative for NEHAU based in Perdekop Campus.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ananda Fulhun. Today I'm an APTOSA representative, also an ASD Risk, Fraud and Integrity at Central Office of Gert Sibande TVET College.
Good morning, Chair, honorable members, and everybody at large. My name is Dile Majaki Madire. I am representing PSA as a union. I'm here at Standerton campus.
Good morning, Chair, and honorable members, and everyone present. My name is Sipo Machacha. I'm representing Labour Union NATO.
Good morning, good people. My name is Johannes Zandamela, representing SATU. Chairperson, I must mention, I was tempted to say I'm acting somewhere, like everyone else in the house.
Chairperson and honorable members, my name is Bongatsela. I'm also from SATU, based in Palfo Campus.
Good morning, Chairperson, honorable members, senior officials from both the HET and the college. My name is Unu Mbalimngabe. I'm the PLO in the DM's office.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, honorable members, colleagues. My name is Sipoga Zitele, and I'm the Admin Assist in the Office of the Deputy Minister, Dr. Dube Ngube. Thank you.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Good morning, my name is Nomfundo Tubejane, and I'm working at Central Office as Executive Secretary to the DB Corporate Services.
Head Office means Department of Higher Education.
Everyone, morning, Chair. I am the direct working.
Good morning, official. My name is Faith Mwami. I'm a business unit manager under Gert State TVET College.
Good morning, Chairperson, honorable member and colleagues. I'm Linda Shabalala, Education Specialist Curricula from Gert Sibande TVET College.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning to the honorable members and the House at large. My name is Kiabetu Mhlongo. I'm the Employee Health and Wellness Practitioner of the Gert Sibande TVET College based at Central Office. Employee Health and Wellness Practitioner.
Good morning, Ponzi. Thank you.
What is BIP?
Business.
BIP. B business working, and so maybe it's BUR, business unit.
Good morning, Chairperson, honorable members, the leadership council members, and the leadership of DHET. My name is Nompumelelo Zodetsi. I am a senior financial aid officer based in Central Office for the Gert Sibande TVET College. Thank you.
Good morning,
Chair and also honorable members. My name is Sihlan Zosa. I'm responsible for partnerships and placement. I'm based at College Central.
Good morning, Chair, members and colleagues. My name is Mokoshadi Maho, the Senior State Accountant, Sibande TS College Central Office.
Good morning. I'm Telly Knight. I'm TVET Senior ALD.
Good morning, Chair and members and everyone. Office.
Yeah, I was told by somebody that this one's working. When you work in this is how it's supposed to work. So when you said something, I don't know, IT, that person of mine.
Good morning, Chair, honorable members and colleagues. My name is Nechiwavi Manombe, Assistant Director, responsible for occupational qualifications, Sibande College, Head of.
Good morning, Chair, and the committee from Parliament. My name is Bush from Sibande College under Employers for the 9
So the same Bush.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, honorable members, the House at large. My name is Sylvester Masuwa, Assistant Director Finance from Sibande.
Good morning, Chair, the honorable committee members, colleagues. My name is Zinita Masego, Assistant Director, responsible for the Center for Entrepreneurship Repair Incubator at the Sibande TVET College. Thank you.
Greetings, colleagues. Greetings, Chair. My name is Sibonsen Kumalo, Assistant Director responsible for the college farm, working at Sibande TVET College. Thank you.
Sanbonan Chairman Nendlu Yonke, mina ngingzima, sponsor.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning. My name is. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. I'm Nabil Mohammed, Assistant Director of Qualification.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members and colleagues. My name is Cedric Moshidi, the Acting Campus Manager for Balfour Campus, Sibande TVET College. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good honorable members. Judith Msibi. My name is Judith Msibi. I'm an Acting Campus Manager at Sibande Campus at Sibande. Thank you.
Which campus is that?
Sibande.
No, thank you very much. I think to your ML. Campus manager above the pay grade or council and management. They are supposed to be updated by the department. Thank you very much. Chairperson, where is that? Can just get to council. Maybe before you, Chairperson, is there anybody here from health and safety who will tell us if there's an emergency, where do we go? Brajoj, yeah, if you can just tell us the emergency, maybe also tell our people where the bathrooms are, just in case, just the normal house rules.
Okay, thanks, Chair. The house rules in terms of emergency, we do have this door here. Can go straight out to site. There's an assembly point there. It's where we go assemble. The other thing, we have to know that you have signed attendance, because in case it's emergency, we have to know who's here. The other things that you're supposed to know, if nature take its course, we do have bathrooms here. The first one here, there's a male and female bathrooms. The other one there, if you're not outside here, if you go that side on the left hand side, there's also a room there where you can go for yourself there. The other thing, that if you want something that is urgently available here, to help you in case of if the thing is confidential. Thank you, Chair.
Well, thank you. How would we know if there's an emergency? What's Oroma's listening to you? So how would we know if there's an emergency? Maybe so do you have a family? Okay. Or you have a leader? Yeah. No. We'll hear from you. Thank you very much. And I hope all of us have signed the register, as I said. Those who have not signed, please maybe quietly just let's make sure we sign. I think it's very important, because even if there's an emergency and we're outside, we need to know if everybody who's outside who's supposed to be outside is out. So maybe in the register. Chairperson, so you will welcome us, and then you will then lead the presentation of management, and then give to management to present.
Thank you very much. Don't I have to come there, Chair?
Yeah, if you are comfortable, you can come here, Chair. So this is your space.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members of Parliament, DHET officials, NSFAS officials, sister college principals, staff members, union representatives, and the SRC. My name is Tulani Ramasesa. I'm the College Council Chairperson. My item today is very simple. It's here to welcome everyone, and to the Parliament, Honorable members of Parliament, I would like to say that you are indeed welcome at Sibande TVET College, and of course we pride ourselves as the best performing college in the country. It's there, it's evident.
Maybe you must help us understand this. How are you measuring that? Is it in throughput, in the number of students enrolled?
Yes.
Is it in what categories, so that?
Chair, the management will come with that. I was just giving a high level briefing. It's a high level. No, but thank you for the question. It's very critical. Yes, we, as I was saying, we pride ourselves as one of the best performing TVET college in the country, academically, and I think in partnerships as well, and innovation, I would like to believe. And so welcome to Sibande TVET College. We are also, proud to say that we are one of those colleges that are led by a female, and we really take pride in that. And of course, we also are led by the youngest chairperson, council chair in the country. And yes, those are one of our, our pride moments. So with that, I would like to welcome everyone. Be at home. You can see we welcomed you with breakfast. So it means we are hospitable. In fact, our hospitality department principal is doing very well. Yes, thank you for that. So, Chair, I think you have requested me to come and give the overview, particularly on governance of the institution. So while I'm standing here, honorable members and members of the House, I will be giving a brief overview on the governance of the college. Chair in absentia and honorable members who are present. I think the slides are going to be projected there. Yes, I'll be giving the overview of the state of governance, administration, and teaching and learning. It's only limited to 5 slides. I requested that. I don't want to say a lot of things. I will leave that to the administration. Our council is composed of the ministerial appointees. Currently, we have 2, which is the chair and the deputy chair, and they are the section 10.4B members, which were appointed on the 22nd of May 2024. The college constitution is not fully constituted as yet due to the outstanding of the 3 ministerial appointees that the minister still needs to appoint. The section 10.6 members were fully appointed until recently where one resigned. And then we have the college CSRC president and secretary general who are also council members. And the college council has established subcommittees to support the effective execution of its mandate. We are effective as a council because all of our subcommittees are constituted, they are effective. And I could say that the teaching and learning plan is in place 100%. There may be challenges here and there, however, our teaching and learning is in place. The college annual performance and strategic plans are endorsed by council. In fact, Chair, before we even started, the deputy chair was giving me a brief to say, Imran, we need to go and review the strat plan ASAP because we always have a problem of, sometimes submitting late and under pressure. So he was telling me that this month we must organize the strat plan review quickly. On the second slide,
it's not the deputy chair's birth month.
No. I share a birth month with him.
Oh, I thought maybe you wanted a strat plan on his birth month.
No. Okay, on the, I think it's the third slide, yes. The council structure currently, we are seated at 80% composition or constituted. We are functioning at 80% capacity. I sound like I work in ESCOM now. We are at 80% capacity, and we are targeting that in 2027 and 2028 and 2029, we will be at 100% capacity. Some of the load sheddings in council will be eliminated at the time. Indeed, the college council is the governing body of the college. It is tasked with providing strategic direction, ensuring institutional compliance, and exercising expected duties over the college. As I mentioned, we have 2 ministerial appointees currently and awaiting the 3 appointments by the minister. And then the additional members, I would have mentioned we had 4, and then 1 resigned, and we also have a donor. At management level, we have the college principal, and we also have the deputy principal academics, and then we also have the college staff reps and the CSRC. So those are the members of the council in that image. The 4th slide speaks to the council structure. We have the college council, which is the main committee. And then we have the subcommittees of EXCO. And then we have where the chairperson is serving the deputy chair, the principal. Then we have the academic board, where the principal is the chair. And we have your council reps that are deployed there. You have the CSRC, the deputy principal academics, and the campus managers and HODs, and I think it's education specialists. And then you have the audit and risk committee, where you have the council reps, the principal, the CFO, the internal audit, ASD compliance, risk, fraud, and integrity. You have the finance committee, where you have the council reps, the CFO, and the principal. You have the committee of ICT, where you have the council reps, the deputy principal, COP, and the IT manager. You have the policy review committee, where you have the council reps, the principal, the QMS managers, policy, custodians as well. And you have conditions of service, where you have the council reps, the TPA, and the SRC, and the student support manager. That's the COS, I'm sorry. It's the council reps, HRM, the HRD, and the wellness and labor relations. That is conditions for your HR. Then under student support, you have council reps, you have the TPA, you have the CSRC, you have the student support manager, you have the job placement officer, and the financial aid. And then in PlanCo or the PRCC, you have the council reps, the principal, deputy principal, COP, facilities manager, and partnership. And then we also have a committee that we established as a council, which is the fundraising committee. We have the council reps, the DPI, the principal, and the donor, the fundraising committee. With that being said, colleagues, that is the short image that I have for you to see the overview of the structure. And that then brings me to the end of my presentation. Chair, Honorable, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chair of Council. As I had indicated earlier, that in the absence of the Chair, I become the Chair with delegated authority. But of course, it's during campaign season, so of course it's going to be in denial here and there, but I am the Deputy Chair of this committee. Principal, you're going to then lead the presentation. We are normally generous of time, but we are cautious of time. So as you present, kindly take into consideration that we would have read your presentation, so you don't have to go word by word, slide by slide, but just present to us with the time that would get to you.
Thank you so much, Team Chairperson, the Chairperson in absentia, honorable members, the HET officials from National Office, Regional Office, sister college principals, the Sibande family with labor, management, and SLC agree to all. As I had mentioned, I'm Ziphelele Zinebegu, acting principal of the college. Chairperson, I would not go deep into the slide, but it's quite important that the honorable members would know that Sibande is having comprises of 7 campuses, which you had chosen Standerton campus that is hosting us. However, it was one of those main campuses that were established amongst 3 before the additional of the department. It was Standerton, MLO, and Evander. Then the department, because they wanted to expand. Then we have Sibande too far from the border of Swaziland. We also have MLO close to Sibande. We have Evander, as I had mentioned, is one of our main campuses that was established years back. We also have Balfour, that is a newly established campus. We also have Pedagog also as well, that is one of the new campuses institution. Thank you so much. You can move to the next slide. Besides having the campuses, honorable members, we also do have, I'm not going to go deep into this, but just highlight that we also had intent to specialize in the following: Standerton Hospitality Center, Evander as Mechanical Center, MLO as an ICT Center, Pedagog as Agricultural Center, Sibande Civil, Balfour Green Energy, and Engineering Center. We do pride ourselves as well to have a business unit, honorable members. But before I go to the business unit, let me start to the center that we visited, which is skills that we take pride of ourselves, that we have accredited to have great testing center for millwrights, electrician, carpentry, mechanical fitter, welder, bricklayer, and plumber. We do have a lot of occupational program that we are offering in the same center, that we as a campuses, when we are introducing occupational program, we are assisted by the same center. Our occupational program assistant directors are coming from the same center that are assisting for soft and also for engineering accreditation. Then we do have Center of Entrepreneurship for Rapid Incubator. That is also the center that is assisting our students and also the community that we are serving into for business registration, training and development, incubation, and funding. That is based at Evander. We also have Bethel Skills that is also offering the engineering. Is one of our site in Bethel. We have the following business units: Isekalo Guest House, we have Waterfront Lodge, Tissue Factory, Driving School, Clothing Factory, Techno Center, and Farm. The decor that we are seeing here and the food that you're going to take today is prepared on those centers for Waterfront, that are prepared also for our students, because those centers are meant to place our students. We're proud ourselves to say that even the managers on those centers are our former students of Sibande TVET College. Thank you. You can move to the next slide. All right. Then when it comes to registration and enrollment, honorable members, we have achieved and even exceeded our targets in some of the programs. For NCV, we had targeted 4,665, which we had over-enrolled for 4,832. Report on 1 is business studies, 1,921, which we had standing in 2008. Enrollment then in engineering, 1,437, and it's 874. In engineering, we still have some other intake that we'll be preparing for the repeaters, because as we are phasing out the engineering, we need to create a space for those that we had to phase out, so that we don't have anyone that will be on our system after the phasing of the engineering. PLP, we met the target. Skills, it depends when you get into the funding. Occupational programs for ministerial, we're also doing good as for the support from the Skills Academy. We also have the non-ministerial occupational programs that are depending on SITA. Those ones we enroll honorable Bola when we have funding, any funding that comes, any approach that we receive from the industry, we do take as we receive. So sometimes we do exceed in that one because it's not on the funding grid of the college, depending on the funding that comes and the need of the industry. Thank you. Then we have safety and security, which I will indicate that we have fencing in all campuses. We have physical security located in all the sites. We have CCTV. Just to mention in here, we do have CCTV, but are now currently, because of budget constraints, we only had targeted the hotspots, which when we have more of budget, the identified space by the security manager has been identified. Assessment is there. We also have a schedule on how do we take it by phase by phase. There are health and safety representative in all the sites. We have fire extinguisher, which are serviced as well as one of the compliance also for examination. All new infrastructure are considered for inclusivity, so that we can consider our students with living with disability. We also have the college SOP and GBF guidelines that are guiding on how do we handle the gender-based violence. Then in terms of the gender-based violence, the college do have a drafted policy that had went for consultation in all the campuses. However, then after the consultation, it could be submitted to the council for approval, and the contributions are made by staff members so that we can close the gap. But currently we do use the Department of Higher Education policy in the interim of waiting for approval of ours. We have campuses, accommodation in campuses. We have Standerton campus that is having accommodation. We also have a Pedagog in Standerton is housing both female and males, and in Pedagog is housing male. I think one will ask why considering male rather than females. It's because of the structure of the building currently. Is the facilities accommodating the male, but we do have another site that the college is intending to renovate so that we can consider the female students. We have a project that is also upcoming, honorable members, that the TVET had funded us 999 million, that was fenced. I think we're now, because of interest, we are on 4-point-something million, that is going to build the hostel at Sibande campus and also at Bedekop. We had facilitated the issues of land where it was a problem, where we were given a land, then after given a land, there was a debate of people from Sibande to say those land are belonging to them, but with the assistance of the chief and Klapo, we won, and also the council member that were involved. We also had involved the attorneys to assist us so that we can obtain the land legally. We also have the same at Bedekop, that we have been given a land, however, it was also belonging in the family. Those negotiations were done through legal processes with our attorneys that were assisting us to obtain the title deal. Then we are in considerate of abolition facility that must accommodate both female and males. Partnership, we have partnership that are assisting us in gender-based violence, which are our SAPAs, Social Development, Department of Health, and also Higher Health. That is also our major partnership that is assisting. We also do have a person that is designated to come and support when we want counsel students. When we have function, we invite this partnership so that they can share their insights in how do we report the issues of gender-based violence. Then in support structures, we do have the referral to social development, student counseling, psychosocial support in partnership with Higher Health through the Office of Madam Reggie, the student support manager. We, in terms of gender-based violence incidents, none that has been reported and recorded this far, honorable member, but I would have like to mention that we had a case that was Madam Reggie, I think if not mistaken, 2 years back, that had happened at Balfour campus, but the case was closed because investigation had happened, and due to that, then the lecturer was found not guilty. Then he then went back to classes as usual, but at the time there was in the precautional suspension, there was measures that the person mustn't be in contact with staff members, but the region had assisted with the process up until it had closed. And in gender-based violence awareness, as a college under the Office of Madam Reggie, the student support, we did have our awareness and safety. However, we also have the SLC, that they have their own program action, that there will be a gender-based violence. They highlighted that they want a hotspot, Sibande, that they will be doing that. But other than that, all campuses will do their mini gender-based violence awareness, but the major one will be done by the SLC. And we move to results. As the college for NCV, we have been performing over 80% throughout the year from 2022 up until 2025, which we had achieved is slightly dropped from where we had achieved 88 in 2024, but 2025 there was a 1% decline. Then in business studies, I just want to also fall in the council chairperson to say we pride ourselves that as a college we had achieved a position 9 nationally academically. I think the chairperson had wanted clarity in that one, is that a retention or a performance, academic performance, or honorable members, that we had achieved 92.4% nationally as number 1 is. Can you give a round of applause, please? Thank you. Thank you so much. We can't achieve that without the commitment of the staff members and the students as well, and the influence and the monitoring of the management. We thank you for that. Engineering, we had also been performing over 60%. However, in 2025, we had dropped to 58, but we also pride ourselves that we had improved. In our trimester 1, we had achieved 81%. So it is promising that this year there will be an improvement in our engineering studies by the end of the year. Thank you. And when it comes to the throughput rates, also there is a show of improvement, honorable member. I'm not going to go to all the slides, but you know the throughput rate are the students that had finished within a record time. So we had considered starting from 2020 to 2022, which the college had 14%, 2021 enrollment, the exit of 2023, 15%, 2022 and to 2024, that problem when you start at the beginning of the year to have that competition, when the students start will enroll with us, but they will drop us at the end. But with this occupational program, we appreciate that there will be the NQF level 5 at level, and now that we are phasing out the diploma, at least there must be something that is replacing that, so that we cannot only offer certificates for students. We do have matters of personal factors, the health issues, relocation, job opportunities, but as the college, through student support, we do have referrals, health and wealth activation that are done on campuses where they invite the other stakeholders that will assist our students. We also do have academic pressure because students are coming from the different background of understanding the basic education, but we also do have academic support intervention through peer tutor, where we appoint the students that are capable to do facilitate and that are also good in those programs to give an opportunity and assist. And we also have the induction that is guiding our students so that they can know the environment of TVET sector as they have their background from the basic. We have program choice problems that we have. We had recently have a system that is actually going to assist in that, which is called learner profiler, because we do have students that now when they have a problem of the program that they wanted to enroll to, if it's closed or is full, they will just choose whatsoever that is coming. Then it also disadvantages both parties, the student and also ourselves, because now the student is not having a passion in that program, and now the efforts of the lecturers must be doubled to make it a point that those students are passing, and now then sometimes it affects our results. We do have academic support where the lecturers also are identifying students in terms of attendance from the beginning of the year. On our test one, we also do assessment and check a diagnosis of the poor performing students, and we do zoom in the programs that had let us down, so that the intervention be invested in those programs rather than to have a intervention that will cover everything. Through the Office of Curriculum, they designed that for us, and lecturers on campuses together with PA tutors, they are given those programs so that they can support our students as early as possible. When it comes to student funding, colleagues, as I had mentioned, NSFAS is funding 5,521. We had enrolled 8,497, and I must mention, out of that, colleagues, is some of the students that are not qualifying, that are repeaters, that are not qualifying for the funding for NSFAS. We do have a difference of 2,971 students that are not funded, but some are funded by the external funder. As also in this one, I would mention that currently for now, on the 5,526 students enrolled as a college, we had claimed 60 million to NSFAS. I'm not going to speak of accommodation, colleagues. I'm not going to speak of transportation, because those money are directed direct to the students, and also the living allowance. So what I'm going to speak about is the 60 million. We had claimed 60 million, however, we still received less of that, and we also had been allocated 92 million, if I'm not mistaken, for this 2026 academic year for NSFAS. We also have the SETAs that are supporting, which I think the SETA that had take much of the students to support, it was service SETA. We have MQA, we have Venoka, which is the industry. We have Facets that had funded 11, and INSETA that funded 4. So out of those external funders, we had funded 270 students, which we are still exploring more of that college to supported for our students. And then semi-urban, which is Balfour, the cheapest is 3,000. Semi-urban, which is Balfour, the cheapest is 3,000, 3,473. Then the expensive one is on 4,000. MLO is 3,000, the expensive one is on 4,000. Evander, 3,000, and the expensive one is also around 3,000 as well. Pedagog, that we can consider more as like a rural, is on 3,000, and also the same expensive one is on 3,000. Sibande is a rural area next to Swaziland, is cheapest is 2,000, and the expensive one is 3,000. Then the Skill Center and Standerton campus that are sharing mostly of their accommodation are rating the cheapest on 3,000, and the expensive are 4,000. Honorable members and honorable members. And then we have infrastructure development, and I would say, I'm not going to go through all the projects, but I just want to mention that we have the HALTED CIG that we had received for Balfour, and also for Pedagog, also for Sibande, as well of some of other projects, which mostly of some are still upcoming as the plan was submitted to the council for approval. So we have those planned, but I would want to mention that when it comes to infrastructure, we still very far to what we wish to be, based on the fact that structure we still introducing occupational program. We are our skills registered for the college slide. Yes, I did. Sorry, can I take you back a bit? When it comes to PPN implementation as an institution, we allocated 564 posts, and currently what has been filled is 455. Out of 455, the balance is 109 vacant posts. In this manner, we have 80 academic. The 80 academic, honorable members, we cannot advertise all of them, because some of them we are holding not to advertise up until we get a clear direction on how we advertise to align with occupational programs, because that is a different programs that have the other condition of service than the usual. So we are having staff members that are on contract, so that when we advertise, at least we don't attract staff members that are still going to be a burden for an institution that will need to reskill them. So at least when we do advertising, the requirements will align to occupational program. We do have this 28 supports that some are critical as slash there, which is one of them is one that has been mentioned, that is a principal when we're introducing ourselves with a lot of acting, honorable member of SADU. Then we have a principal's post. We have 2 deputy principal that are also on acting. We also have 12 management that also includes the campuses, which some of the posts has been advertised. The other campus managers were advertised. We are still awaiting for the approval from the department. Sibande has been recently advertised, and it has closed in the month of July. And then the other managers were like marketing asset auditor that were advertised. Then the other one that we advertised and went through interviews is Evander, and Balfour campus. So we are waiting from the outcome from the Department of Higher Education. We also had migrated 109 staff members to TVET PESAL, which 108 was on academic, 1 was support. Out of that, 2 officials were migrated, but still pending translation to permanent. So we do have that, but there was a work in progress, and the department had assisted us in migrating those staff members. Thank you. Then when it comes to occupational program, as I would say that I would take this as read, and I would just mention that we have a number of skills and occupational programs that are accredited. I think the high number that I would just want to mention is at skills, because we had an advantage as an institution that we had opened a skills center in 2022, and that now is working as an advantage as an institution to also support others. But out of that, we have 52 when I'm counting all these occupational programs that are here that are accredited is 50. We have 7 trade test center that are accredited with NCV Report 111 Business Studies and Engineering. The overall for NCV, we are standing at 434 outstanding certificates. Then for business studies, we are standing at 100 that are outstanding. For Report 111 Engineering, we're standing at 279 outstanding certificates. As mentioned, on budget, we were allocated 464 million by the department, and it was distributed for PESAL, which was done by the department, and it was distributed for PESAL 3 million, but overall accumulative of student debts is on 156 million. And the college is not withholding the students' results. Honorable members, we do have the college debt management. At the beginning of the year, when students are enrolling, we require a 50% for enrollment for those that are owing but we know that to be enrolled on the system. We also had received approval from National Treasurer to participate on debt collection, but it's still a work in progress. Maybe that option will assist us. On the audit opinion, honorable members, in 2022 it was qualified, 2023 unqualified, 2024 unqualified. For 2025 we not, and with the one that is sponsoring our will work integrated learning and work-based, we have 37, that is the amount of 160 million. Then we do have the host employers that are responsive in accommodating our students, which is 148 partners for work integrated learning. Then the breakdown of the foreign nationals employed by the college, we have 10, which the permanent resident and naturalized South Africa, we have 8, and they are permanent starting on the year of 2020, 2023, 2022, 2015, 2018, and 2021. We only have 2 that are on contracts, which one, the contract is ending by November 2026. The other contract will be ending on 2027 academic year. That marks the end of my presentation, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Labour, we had asked Labour to combine their presentation. You know, you can leave the mic there. They will, who's coming to present? Yeah, 20 minutes, Labour. Very generous. Normally it's 10. So we've doubled yours, because also I know I've noticed that you've got many unions. Very democratic. You can go ahead.
To apply their theoretical knowledge in practice at these centers, and all this is made possible by the college, and we commend that. Our college is doing exceptionally well in the World Skills Competition, and all that is because of the contribution that is made by workers who are training these students who participate in these competitions, and they also play various roles as assessors in all these competitions. We thank workers for that. We have generally warm employer-employee relations with the college through platforms like the Labour Forum, as well as the CIC for PPN. Generally, our relations are warm, and as unions, we are able to arrange bilaterals with the college management as and when there are issues to be discussed. Having said that, there are challenges. The first challenge that we have as Labour, and which we have picked up, dates back to 2020, when the post of the college principal became vacant. It has been vacant since that time. Our former college principal passed on during COVID-19 time, around 2020, and since that time, the college has not had a permanently appointed principal. In some instances, we've had acting principals, and acting principal who will act for only a period of 6 to 7 months, less than a year. And in some instances, some of these college principals will act without an appointment letter from TVET. The same applies to deputy principal corporate. Since 2024, the post has been vacant, and this has led to instability and chaos in the department. For an example, Balfour campus and Evander campus campus manager posts were handled in a manner which led to us to still have acting campus managers up till today, including the HR manager. And this is all because there is no stability in this post. The Deputy Principal Finance post has also been vacant since May 2025. All this, when so many people are acting and in such key positions, this creates instability. There is also instability due to vacant posts on campuses. We are saying the turnaround time for the appointment of campus managers posts is usually unreasonably long. Sometimes it takes more than 9 months Sometimes it takes more than 9 months after processes have been concluded at the college level for the appointment to come post for which and when the appointment was supposed to be made, it was reject the process on the basis that the posts were not requested. This further emphasizes the instability in the TP Corp portfolio. Position. This would not have happened if that was stable, and this perpetuates the instability that we are talking about, and it has an impact on our work, including how we produce results as a college. Balfour campus post has been vacant since 2023, and it is one of the affected posts, as I said earlier on. The same goes for Evander campus. We are becoming incident or generation because of the acting positions that you are having. The HR manager post has been vacant since 2019, and this may also be the reason for the situation that we are having. We're talking about the handling, the poor handling or the bad handling of the Evander and Balfour campus posts. We are also having serious concerns regarding the remuneration, the delays in the remuneration for markers for NCV and Report 191. Our staff members, lecturers would from time to time be appointed to go and mark, and when they go and mark, they would mark and finish marking, and the time it takes for their remuneration to be paid, it's unreasonably long. In some instances, it takes even 2 months following the completion of marking for them to be paid, and this delay is from the Department of Higher Education and Training, and we're saying this needs to be sorted out because it has led to the following challenges. The continued delay in payments have created serious concerns amongst the staff members and has negatively affected morale within the college. Marking responsibilities require staff to dedicate additional time, effort, and money. It has led to financial strains on lecturers. It has reduced morale and motivation among all our employees. We have seen a decline in the number of people who are applying for marking, all because of this. And if I'm not mistaken, English markers were not enough last year. An opportunity needed to be created to recruit more markers because most people who were marking these subjects ended up not applying because of this frustration. The potential reluctance of staff to participate in future marking processes, this is one of the challenges, and this has led to many potentially experienced markers withdrawing from marking. Then we're moving on to college projects and infrastructure. We're having issues with incomplete projects in some campuses. For an example, Balfour campus, the newly built or launched campus, the campus was opened, it was officially launched in 2014, but it only got a building in 2025 or 2024. We moved in 2024, just before the elections on the 25th of May. And that campus doesn't have carports, and there is no mention of phase 2 of the construction of the campus. Phase 2 of the project would have the student support center. It would also have your fields, the training fields, soccer, and all these others. All these are not there, and then this creates a problem. And there is no clarity anymore as to whether this project will be continuing or not. Central office building. Our central office is located at a busy intersection, placing the safety of the public, students, and staff at risk. I don't know if portfolio committee members took a tour to our central office just to see where it is located. We are saying the central office needs to be built at a safer place. The status of some of the BIP projects which affects workers' job security. Most employees in the BAC centers are on contract. We are decrying this situation as a situation that is untenable, where you would have most workers there on contract, and in some cases there is a problem of a lack of job security because they don't know if they will still be there tomorrow. This is particularly important to us as labor because some of our students who graduate are expected to form part of the workforce in these centers, and their future therefore becomes bleak. Lack of accountability and reports on investigation and mismanagement of public funds related to projects. There was a proclamation proclamation number 144 of 2023 that there is going to be an investigation on corruption and maladministration relating to 6 tenders at Sibande TVET College. And this proclamation was gazetted in the same year, 2023. Up until today, as workers, we have never been given any report as to whether what was found here, and if the monies that were embezzled have been recovered, so as to be able to offset even debts like student debts, like Mem was saying earlier on. Balfour campus was said to be having 51 million. I just heard Mem saying 52 million, and these millions, they keep changing all the time. As Balfour campus, this money was supposed to assist with a number of things, including the purchase of fleet cars as a new campus. Unfortunately, very little is given to us as workers as to how this money was spent. We had an engagement with the college council chairperson on the 15th of May as workers, and we raised this matter. And he will bear testimony to the fact that he confirmed that he's aware of the amount, but he cannot explain how it was used. Equally, we had a meeting on the 2nd of June with the acting principal, and we raised this matter as Labour. In the very meeting, she did confirm that she's aware of the money, of the amount. She will investigate on how it was utilized. We lament the snail pace at which these investigations are happening, because we begin to suspect that those who may have left with our 51 or 52 million.
Yeah, we have 4 minutes.
Okay, and then per the Iskalo farm, there is uncertainty there regarding whether the farm is still a college property or not, because the workers who were working there have been moved to other sections, and the equipment that was there has been moved. So there is no clarity whether it's still a college asset or not. Unfair labor practice, we've observed what we see as unfair labor practice in that there is lack of consequence management to central office staff whenever they commit acts of non-conformance. But the same management will be very quick to discipline workers in campuses when they are found to be out of line. An example of this was the late payment of staff salaries and claims. There was no consequence management for this malady. Inconsistency on how the TVET procedure and code of conduct is applied when colleagues are disciplined. We observe that. Our recommendations: we recommend the speedy appointment of the executive post, campus managers and HR manager, so that we can stabilize the running of the college. There must be consistent consequence management for every staff member who is found not to be performing their duties as expected. Of course, this should not be punitive. It needs to be a corrective and rehabilitative. We recommend speedy implementation of outstanding infrastructure projects, like the phase 2 that we are talking about at Balfour campus, and the construction of our central office. We recommend that the marking payment be done within 30 days after marking has been closed. And DHET, we recommend that DHET should adopt the DBE plan to ensure that payments are made on time. With DBE, markers are paid a week after marking at most, unlike in our case, which is 2 months. We recommend that the SIOU must communicate the feedback on the investigation on the allegation of corruption, maladministration, and mismanagement of public funds, whether the feedback is positive or negative. And if some people have to appear at Madanga, we really would welcome that, because we're dealing with public funds here. We recommend that all employees at our BIE projects must be given long-term fixed contracts. Thank you very much, Chairperson and the House.
Well, thank you very much. As the SRC comes to present, maybe before you leave, you said the Balfour campus, there was a phase 2 that we did not, I think even the presentation was not too clear. So maybe explain the project. So there was phase 1 and phase 2, but phase 2 did not happen. And what was the plan there?
The understanding we have is that that project has 3 phases. It had phase 1, which had included classrooms and workshops and offices, admin offices and staff. And then phase 2 had a student support center and facilities for recreational facilities. And phase 3, if I'm still correct, had a residence, that is campus residence. But those were the 3 phases. So the only phase that was completed and was handed over in 2024, 25th of May, was phase 1. And there is now silence on phase 2 and phase 3.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's fine. Just wanted that clarity. SRC, President. I must commend the SRC and management in La Perishap.
Good day, everyone. As I've introduced myself earlier, I'm Sithe Velusanda, the SRC president of this college. I would go through my presentation. Firstly, it's states of affairs of the college from the student's perspective. Plan number 1, it's academic. We have a high pass rates in business studies, other than engineering studies. And then infrastructure, library and workshop are good. Only few machines are broken. Also, Wi-Fi connection has increased. Finance, estimation of 80% students have received February and March allowances. Actually, they've been receiving their allowances very well. Then safety. Safety has increased in the number of securities. Slide number 2. Challenges of students at the college. It's the funding and financial delay of NSFAS. Number 2, infrastructure and facilities. Student accommodation. You'll find out that on the student accommodation, there are no, or the accommodation that doesn't meet the minimum requirements to be the student accommodation or to cater for the students. Then we have ICT resources. On our campuses, not all of them, just some campuses, we have the lack of, we have all computers. Sometimes when you find that during exams, when a student is using that computer, it will freeze or to just shut down and restart again while the student is still typing or busy with that test or assignment. Then we have sanitation. Then bullet number 3, academic and staffing issues. Bullet number 4, governance and communication on the administrative efficiency and SRC consultation. On the SRC consultation, you'll find that there is no proper communication between the management and the SRC. Slide number 3, it's the recommendation to take the college forward. Academic excellence and curriculum alignment. Industry integration. Believe that to have faster transition into the workplace, hand-on technical proficiency, direct exposure to modern equipment and built-in networking opportunities. Also, lecture capacity building. Expansion of, bullet 3, the expansion of PLR support. To share live experience. Support is provided by the people who understand the exact pressure, environment and challenges because they are or have recently navigated the same system. Low barrier accessibility. Peer leaders are often more approachable to formal authority figure, reducing the stigma or hesitation around asking for help. In our college, in this college, we do have the peer educators and they are assisting. Just that if the college can maybe have random meetings with our peer educators. Then my second bullet under the recommendations, it's infrastructure and digital transformation, transport and logistic optimization. In this college, we have one campus that is using Megabus as a transport from where they stay to the campus. Under transport and logistic optimization, we request student bus routes specifically for the Megabus, as it is the bus we use as this college or for students of this college. Design bus schedules and pickup points based on high density students' residential areas to avoid overcrowding and cut traveling time. Also, cost-effective service agreement. Structuring fare system, ticketing structures and external operators contracts to balance the budget limits with affordable student access. We have an issue with those Megabus our students are using. Tickets, sometimes they just, their amounts, they increase random, then we find out the student, they can't afford that ticket. We've been having meetings and discussion with the Megabus, trying to convince the Megabus to make the tickets or to sell the tickets fairly for the students. Then also the updates about the laboratory, industry, hardware, motorization, replacing the outdated machine or equipment. I'd say the infrastructure. We find out that in our respective campuses, we have, as I mentioned about the computers, we found out that there are old computers in the workshop, there are old machinery that are broken, students can't do their ISETs or practicals. So yeah, those are the recommendations to take the college forward. Then the student governance and welfare. Then last bullet, financial sustainability and accountability. To increase a proper communication between the NSFAS, I'll say between all the bursaries and the college for the update, so that we know that maybe at the beginning of the year when you register students, we must be able to tell the students during the induction that we used to have to say, we have these bursaries in this college and this is how they work, this is how they do things. And also the management or the college must be able to communicate with the, for example, with the NSFAS prior, just like a recent issue that we have. NSFAS had changed some of things during the year, so that thing also affected our college. So we are requesting that for us, the college, to move forward and also the college to move smoothly. Can they have the proper communication prior? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, President. Department, who's going to speak on behalf of the... Is that you? I can come give you the mic.
Yeah, no, thanks, Chair. There's quite a number of officials from the department who are going to assist with the response to questions and issues that are raised.
Yeah, so you will lead the responding. Yes. Okay, maybe before we go to lunch, do you understand why you've got so many acting positions that within the powers of the departments? Firstly, the principal post is under the department, it's not Phil. And Labour says since 2019 or 2020, when the principal passed on, what was her name? Amanda, no? Portia. Yeah. There's not been a substantive appointment since 2019 or 2020. It's been, no, it must be 2021. Yeah. So it's been 5 years or so, and they don't know what's happening. That's the allegation. The campus manager, almost all of them except two, they are acting, which also falls under you. Maybe let's get a factual explanation. Not, I know what department they're in. When you don't want to answer, you tell us about under normal circumstances. We don't want under normal circumstances. We want to understand what is the problem.
No, thanks, Chair. On the matter of the post of that post was advertised and the panel, and it's set to make recommendation. And on agreement that led to delay was that should be advertised because Advent had indicated as a requirement that and as a result required upon appointment. So that was on the basis of the recommendation of the panel that the post was re-advertised. On the matter of the post of campus managers, I will request corporate services to assist us on the delays thereof.
No, thank you, Chair. Sorry. As Ntatum Sipra indicated, the principal post is being re-advertised. The request, it is with the accounting officer. And as soon as that has been approved, the advert will go out, hopefully, before September. We can then confirm the Deputy Principal Finance interviews will be on the 11th of August. Assistant Director HRM, it's routed to be approved by the accounting officer for an appointment. A campus manager, Evander, the same, routed to be approved for appointment. Campus manager, Palfo, also routed to be approved for appointment. That is what we can indicate. Of course, from our side, we are sitting almost every week, checking progress, and of course unlocking delays where they are. But all of these posts at the moment are going through the recruitment processes, and we can maybe assure the committee that we are doing everything in our powers to ensure finalization. Thank you very much.
Yeah, maybe before you get off, I've got two members who have a follow-up on the principal issue. But if I heard you correctly, you are saying as we speak, you have finalized, pending the signature of the Director General, the appointment of the Balfour campus manager. Am I correct?
The Balfour campus manager and Evander.
Yeah, I was coming to them one by one.
Oh, okay.
Wanted to check if I'm correct for the record purposes. So you are saying Balfour and Evander are finalized, pending the final signature of the accounting office.
Correct.
Okay. No, you can. When was it finalized?
I don't have the details, but I think the region can indicate when the interviews take place. Because what I'm reporting on is the submission now to the accounting officer.
Thank you, Chairperson. The Balfour campus manager, the shortlisting was on the 26th of August 2024, and interviews was 11th September 2024. And then for Evander campus, the shortlisting was 14 April 2025, and interviews 11 June 2025. Thank you, Chair.
So you don't have access to when was the report sent to the accounting officer for approval?
No, we don't have. But we can request it quickly. Our
so
office
who submits to the accounting officer?
It's HR through SmartHead, but I can verify.
So you don't have SmartAct there in your...
The record is with our HR at head office. I can.
So can you check when we come back after lunch? You'll confirm.
Yes.
Okay, and then the other campus managers of other, what do you call it? Or other campuses. What's the problem? You don't have records as well.
I'm not certain if the region could assist, because the two that I have here is Evander and Balfour that went through the process.
Okay, and then you said there was DP something that.
Deputy Principal Finance interviews will be held on the 11th of August. That's the only DP that we have here.
And the first advert you have on DP Finance?
No, it's going for the interviews. It went through the advert shortlisting.
Yeah, since 2019. We're told that it's been vacant since 2019. It's not?
No, it's not. It was vacant as from 1st July 2023.
Yeah, so this is the first advert since 2023? Yeah.
Well, the Assistant Director HRM was vacant 1st July 2023. The Deputy Principal Corporate was vacant in 2025. Finance, yes, 2025.
Okay, 2025. You wanted to clarify that? Okay, no, it's fine. Honorable Khakhaw, yeah, first follow up on the principal.
Thank you, Chair. So there was an advertisement that went out for the post of the principal post. Was there a shortlisting process that took place?
were the interviews? Let's start from scratch. So the first question, there was an advertisement, that's correct?
That's correct, yes.
And then there was a shortlisting process?
The shortlisting process could not proceed. The panel set for the short, but then the panel recommended re-advertisement.
Yes, when was this?
Please ask with a specific date.
While they get that specific date, who was responsible for drawing up the advertisement? So the set of requirements,
That would be corporate services.
Departments, corporate services?
Yes.
Okay. So explain to us how the requirement of a certificate was added. Was that the case in other institutions? Is it different for this institution?
Yeah, what the panel noted was that was different for the college here, and it was a concern.
What certificate is this?
That would be the Nyukela certificate. Yes.
And then when the panel advised the department that there is an abnormal requirement that does not match the standard of other requirements across the country, what was the department's response? What did corporate say the reason for their adding that requirement was? What did they say the reason for adding that requirement as part of the spec was?
Well, the reason that was provided at the panel was that is a new requirement of the DPSA. And then the panel requested, please take us through that requirement. And it then transpired that no, that was not necessarily the case. It was just a matter of... No, it was a representative of corporate services.
Representative of corporate services.
Manana, who was it? It was you.
You're even laughing, my guy.
Can we clarify, Honorable Member?
Thank you, ma'am.
So where did you get the information that the certificate that you added as part of the spec was a new requirement of DPSA?
We have a directive from TPSA that indicated that from SMS positions, they are required to have the Nyukela certificate. But when we engage during the session of shortlisting, the panel indicated that the candidate is not required to submit it during the application, but the certificate can be requested prior to the approval of the delegated authority. Thank you.
That doesn't make sense. Okay.
I know you want to clarify something, I'm sorry. So why did the process stop, if that's the understanding?
The panel, they were not comfortable to proceed with that requirement and exclude candidate.
No, but there was no one who was going to be excluded, because you are saying the process said the certificates can only be produced at the end of the process before the appointment.
Yes, Chair, but the requirement was on the advert. Therefore, the panel to shortlist candidates, they need to ensure that their processes are in line with the requirement on the advert.
So DPSA says put this thing as a requirement.
That was our interpretation, but we are engaging on that.
So you don't know, you've not advertised anywhere else?
We did advertise number of posts. There is a new directive. Previously, that was not required. But going forward, all our SMS posts, we add a Nyukela as a...
So I'm saying after this process,
yes,
you've advertised again?
Yes, other position, SMS post.
With that requirement?
Yes.
And so why? So you're saying this one stopped because the panel was not with the directive of DPSA. That's what you're saying then too?
Chair, what I can say is the interpretation of which is what Mr. Hugo wanted to clarify regarding to that.
No, so you're saying you have advertised again. So you've advertised on something that you have not clarified on the interpretation. Is that what you want to? I don't think you want to say that, because then it's going to give us problems moving. Because if you're saying to us, we have since advertised more and we have included this particular requirement, and you are saying you're still clarifying because your interpretation might be different, then I have a serious problem with it. Because it means even those ones, if their panels raise an issue, you're going to restart them afresh, which is a waste, firstly, of resources of the state which you don't have, but the dereliction of duty from yourself, because you are then not doing your job. So I don't think you want to say that. You rather give me another excuse. But you can't say it's because of interpretation. Maybe you clarify and then we'll go to lunch. Maybe during lunch. What is the issue?
No, Chairperson. My understanding is that the DPSA directive is that the Nyukela certificate, it is a requirement. It must go out on an advert like that. Therefore, if indeed the decision to re-advertise by the college or the panel at that time was of the view that this was only placed to Gert, and that could have been the decision, maybe it was placed on wrong premises. There is no advert that will go out and say and not mention Nyukela certificate. It is a requirement, and shortlisting cannot happen. Therefore, if that is not required as part of the requirements. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. We're saying, why then did this process stop?
That's what I'm saying. If indeed the decision to stop the process then was based on the fact that there is this requirement
move from that part. We're asking why did this you don't know. Okay. One question and then we'll go to lunch. We'll come back with you.
Chair, maybe let us go back to this point, gentlemen of the department. You make it seem as if the panel is people that are outsourced. The panel is led by the department, isn't it? So is it not?
It is.
Yeah. Who heads the panel?
The chairperson of the panel, I'm not certain who was at that time.
Yeah,
It would have
so-
been
so please get us
the
those,
HR.
yeah, get us those answers, because that person must account as to if you are saying something different and the other person saying something different, but the department heads the panel. So we're not going to search for people that head the panel. That person must tell us why is it that this process was stopped. I think one of the issues, Chair, maybe in these two issues in particular, we'll deal with them, because either or, even if that process would have happened in 2022, we're in 2026 now. You are still trying to decide whether to put in that requirement, there is a directive or not. Till to date, it doesn't make sense. So just get us information as to who was leading that panel, so that that person or you can get responses, so that we can then decide how we deal with this matter. Thanks, Chair.
Oh, okay, thank you. Dr. Msipa, because only need how and then there's need kwanayan. So, according to your understanding, the reason why we had to restart the process, it is because we needed to adjust the advertisement so that we're able to suit the spec of requirements. We were supposed to suit it according to what the panel advised. We've now learned that the panel's advisement is null and void, because irrespective of how the panel felt, the bottom line is DPSA has a requirement moving forward of this certificate. Do you now have an answer of when the re-advertisement process was initiated? Well, when it was brought back to the department to say, let's not do it. See, current principal, I agree you went for interviews yourself. You applied, I meant. Did you apply to become the president, the principal? You applied. When did you apply, ma'am? Mike, when was this?
September
last year.
2025, yes.
2025.
Yes.
So next month will be a year. And in 11 months, when under Msipa and your people have been racking your brain around the how to type in an advertisement, whether to delete, to highlight, to re-advertise the same thing that you did for other colleges. Make it make sense?
I didn't get the question there.
I'll try again, Dr. Msipa. The application process before shortlisting happened last year, September. Today is August 2026. Next month will be a year since then. So in 11 months, your people, the department, has been struggling with wrapping their heads around whether to delete the requirement for the certificate, whether to highlight it or whether to leave it and launch it out to the public. That's what you've been doing for 11 months. In the meantime, you've advertised the same post for other institutions with the same set of requirements with absolute ease. Make it make sense.
No, it is not only the matter of the correction of the advertisement. It is also the question of posts having to be advertised through DPSA, and then you have a combination of posts.
Msipa, did you encounter the problems you are listing now when you were advertising other posts for other principals for other colleges?
No, again, we are talking about the time it takes. So it cannot be just 11 years to
Msipa,
correct.
the first response you gave me of the reason why you were unable to proceed with the appointment of the principal was that the panel was not happy because the panel was confused about the requirement of the certificate. And you, Ndate, said that it has then gone back to corporate services for corporate services to redesign, which is to delete the requirement of, essentially, when you write an advertisement, if the panel said that they didn't want the certificate, all you had to do was delete. But in this case, you can't really delete because the advertisement stays the same. Because the same advertisement you released for other colleges since is the same advertisement that proceeds.
No, not to delete, but to correct.
Oh, correct. The Msipa, because
So that it
DPSA
is-
remains the same, or the same certificate.
Yeah, let Mr. Hugo.
No, Honorable Mekhakhau, just on clarifying, the shortlisting for the principal post was conducted in April 2026 this year. That's where the decision was taken. So the process is now with us.
So the applications were in September 2025, and you only shortlisted in April 2026.
2026, yes.
We'll come to that conversation, it's fine. But between April 2026 and August 2026, May, June, July, August, it's now month number 4. Surely, my argument still rests. The timetable doesn't change. The timetable doesn't change the merit of my argument.
No, ke a utlwa.
So bothata ba lona bo kae?
Well, re kana re dumellana gore process e tsamaile slow, mara mo e leng teng ngwana jwale ke gore accounting officer a re signele re ntshe re advertise.
Assign the same thing that was released before. Because nothing has changed, I guess.
Eo is standard. That certificate needs to be, it's part of the
So
requirement.
nothing has changed since September 2024, which is when 2025, when the application process opened, and August 2026, and April 2026, when you shortlisted and your panel thought, oopsie, we don't like what this looks like, go back. And then 4 months later, it's still the same. Nothing has changed in the application, and you're still struggling to sign and send it out again. So essentially, my conclusion is this, Chairperson. Your panel did not want to continue with the work of appointing the principal. Either they don't like this principal to come back, or they don't like the people, or they want their own person to come. One of the three. It's as clear as that, and you can't defend it. Because even the reasons you're giving me, your reasons are flat. And it is unacceptable that we must come here and waste our time as Parliament having a conversation with you guys about re-signing the same thing that you released last year just to fill a post. So after lunch, I want real truth around, one, who was the chairperson of that panel? Who else sat in that panel? So that we can get to the bottom of why is it that we still don't have a proper principal here. Maybe the current principal is also the problem. Maybe she was going to be chowed in the process and she wanted to delay. We don't know. We don't know what the truth is, but essentially we must get to the bottom of the truth, and that's what I want after lunch. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you very much. I wanted us to go to lunch at 1:30, Principal. There was a time where I left with David, and we spoke to the ladies that side. Lunch must be ready around. And then I don't know who amongst you went to change that. Went and told them that lunch must be ready. So my worry is if we continue beyond here, by the time we eat our lunch, members would have asked. So I deliberately asked them not to ask anything towards the college before lunch, because we don't want to do the other side. So, but I don't want. At least now I said only if you ask in the department, you can continue. So, but if I give them now, they might ask questions towards. Honorable Khakha asked you a question. I did not want you to get the mic because my worry, Honorable Khakha, was the lunch. So let's break now. It's 1:45, 10 to 2. We'll come back at 20 to 3. So we'll take 50 minutes for lunch. And then when we come back, we'll then have directed questions. In the meantime, department, let's get the facts together because it does not look good. I know the persons responsible might not be here, but that MC Park, I asked who's going to answer. You said no. So, so unfortunately, I know it's not your personal problem, but let's get. We'll then have students. We'll have workers. I do have clarity seeking for workers, management, and then hopefully we'll conclude before 7 today. Thank you very much. Acting Principal. Hello. Let's start. We will start now with. With question and answer. We have agreed with members will take minutes interactions with yourselves. I'm going with Honorable Msezane, the Deputy Chair that was never elected. I always tell him now I'm the chair that was elected unopposed. There's a difference. So when you are uncontested, so he may also claim that he was uncontested, which is true because so we'll start with Honorable Msezane, and when members come in, we will then go to them. We have 15 minutes. Please answer straight to the questions that have been asked because members might have an issue with time. If I don't time them, they don't respect time. Yeah, let's start.
Maybe also Guma officials, the principal, job council, unions, as well as student leadership. So Guma officials with the presentations. So my first question, I think, before I start with my first question, the department, can you just, who's going to circulate the mic? Yeah, please give the mic to the department official, Mr. Msipa. So when the unions presented, Mr. Msipa, they indicated that it has happened before that there were certain acting principals that would have acted without appointment from the department. Perhaps before the guidance of the union rep, can you confirm that the current acting principal does have an appointment from the department to act?
Through Chair, let me verify with my colleagues from corporate services.
Okay, in the meantime, can you give the mic to the Chair of Council to confirm the very same question? Does the acting principal have an appointment from the department?
Thank you very much, Honorable Msezane. I think the letter of appointment, it was provided from the department.
So there is a letter of appointment for the current acting principal?
Yes, from my knowledge, yes, there is.
Yeah, so Chair of Council, this you must know. It's something that you cannot know as the Chair of Council. In fact, you should have it in your position or in the position of the records of Council. If there's a letter of appointment, because that's a serious allegation, and it would then have to, get to a point where we ask legally, how does a person act without an appointment letter from the department? So if the current acting principal has that particular letter of appointment from the department, can that be confirmed? Then the union must tell us which of the acting principals, as they allege, have acted without an appointment. Because I just want to understand that legally, how is it possible? How is it done?
Yes.
So can you confirm first that as council, you are aware of the letter of appointment from the department of the current acting principal?
Yes.
Can that be provided to us through our community secretary? Please, if you could just facilitate that, Chair of Council.
Okay.
Maybe back to the unions. Principal, I think we've graduated from that point unless you want to contradict the Chair of Council.
It's from department region. I'm not sure if Chair will say in that.
Yeah, the region represents the department.
Yes,
so if
the letter that we have endorsed by.
Okay, maybe just give the mic back to the department through the regional representative. Yeah, so I think we're going to have an issue because the region does not sign the appointment of the acting principal unless I'm not sure of my understanding. I thought the principal or acting principal is appointed by the DG of the department. So maybe region, please assist us there. Chair.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chair, in according to the CET Act, it's stating that in the absence of the principal, one of the deputy principal should perform the responsibility of the principal. Therefore, what we did at the regional office, we implemented the Act while we are waiting for the submission that is forwarded to DG for approval. But we are still waiting for that approval.
So let me get this correct. Do you have the power to appoint an acting principal? Is that
In terms of delegation of authority, the appointing officer is the Director General, is the DG.
Okay. Do you have a legal person there in the department that is present here?
Yes, we do have.
Yeah, can we maybe have the legal person assist us here? Because I think the next thing you're going to say it's a matter of interpretation.
No, Chair. Maybe correction. We don't have anybody from the legal division, but it's just to confirm that yes, in terms of delegation, the appointment, the acting appointment should be from the department, either the accounting officer or the minister. So the submission is through to the department for that acting appointment. I think what the region was referring to, it's in the interim, whilst we are waiting for the approval of the acting appointment for the principal.
So what is the interim in this regard? The interim is a full year. What is the interim?
The acting normally is 6 months. My understanding is it should be.
No, the interim. Akere, you say you give authority to an official to act. Obviously, there must not be a queue. So what is the interim? Is the interim the entire 6 months that they must act? Is it a paid? Do they get paid to act?
I don't think they'll be paid from...
Because they don't have an appointment.
Yes, the payment will be once the DG will have signed an acting letter. That will have the authority then after having acted 6 months. That payment will come. So even the acting letter that might come might also take into consideration this particular period that you are in. But for the principal to be able to execute some of her responsibilities now, there ought to be then the letter from the region to ensure that at least work is happening.
Yeah, so my problem is that I think we don't have a person that can respond directly to our questions, because legally, if the acting principal sitting before us does not have an appointment letter and they commit the institution without legally being appointed, can those decisions be legally challenged or not? Do they have full authority as given acting powers by the region and not the accounting officer or the accounting authority?
No, I think we do take the question, Honourable Member. I think we'll respond in writing because we'll have to refer to the CET Act, particularly where it will give those powers in terms of an interim arrangement. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. You see, I have a challenge with how the department fails to answer. My understanding is that the Act says, should there be a vacancy, one of the Ps, obviously through a process of council, the council we recommend point A, B, or C. But the Act also is not oblivious to the fact that there are processes that the department will go through. Like, for an example, this resolution of the council will probably go through the regional manager, DDG, ultimately DG. Now that there's a time frame that will pass, inevitable, after the decision of council, before it gets to the DG. And therefore the understanding here that you are supposed to bring to the attention of members is that because of that, the person acts and is not paid until such time that the accounting office has signed the acting letter. So that's how you are supposed to answer. How you are trying to answer now, it creates a problem. It creates an impression. Yes, and he's correct to say, and this is what we've been asking that MCP. It's not normally your problem as an individual, but as a department, that we take so long to fix a small thing. Because he's right, it's almost a year that the principal has been. It's not their fault. It's not the council's fault. But it's the processes that you guys put before that thing happened. The answer that we would want you to give to us in writing is legal implication. Because it says, whilst you are awaiting the accounting officer's approval, the principal can act. So the opinion there will be, let's say the accounting officer signs within 2 months. What does the Act say? Because the Act literally says somebody must act. But what was the thinking of the writers of the legislation of that period? Because it means they do have rights or your protected right to take decisions. But maybe they think that the drafters of that legislation were thinking short term. Now his question is on a long-term basis. That it's been 1 year, it might be 3 years with how government works. The letter might come after 3 years. And we're not saying there must be no principal. That's not, don't read it different. Don't read it as members saying there must be no acting principal. Because then it will mean there will be a house without a head. And now it will be a big problem. We'll be here, no one will be presenting to us. That's not what we are insinuating, implying, or what we are saying is that the cumbersome processes that you have in the department must be looked at. But Honorable Msazana's question is on the legality of the decisions that may or may not have been taken in the process that falls under the delegation of the principal. And not necessarily, because some of the delegations fall under council. The principal, maybe your delegation to say schools will reopen on the 13th of January. I'm sure there's no legal implication. But if there are other delegations that maybe council would have given you, the question is, given the time lapse, what then becomes the legal implication as far as that is concerned? So I was just saying that, MCP, how you guys answer, you create problems because we could have responded the way that just said, listen, this is the point. Yes, a person can act without the letter from the accounting officer as long as it has been processed in this. And what was this version? Council, the Act says one of the deputy principals must act, and the process it goes to council recommends, puts through the system. Whilst we are waiting, the person acts in the meantime. So that's how you should have responded, because that's what the Act says and it empowers you to do so.
Sure, Chair. No, Chair, I think we'll leave it at that, considering time. Chair of Council, can the mic go to the Chair of Council, please? You mentioned...
maybe before, just to clarify to Honorable Kaka, that we have said that the acting principal is not getting paid the acting allowance. She's getting a salary from her DP, right? We're right, yes. She can only be paid once the department is complete. It's like that thing of Boka at NSFAS.
So I'm really curious, Chair, what would happen if the DG decides not to sign that appointment after she has performed the duties of acting principal for a year? I would really be interested to know what would happen there. But let us be optimistic, acting principal, that she will sign. So, Job Council, you mentioned the vacancies. I think you said 20% vacancies, or amongst the ministerial appointees. How long have they been vacant for? So that maybe the department can assist us in terms of telling us why it has not been filled.
Thank you. The ministerial before we don't have. Then the recent one, it was a...
No, thanks, Chair. Maybe acting principal and yourself, Chair. You know, I wanted to first congratulate and applaud the fact that academically your institution is doing wonders. I mean, that is what we want to see in our institution. It's highly, highly commendable. We do congratulate such great, because obviously the command in your existence is the documents and input is with flying colors. So we want to really encourage the keep on doing what you do right in terms of your academic standing. The issue of your residences, you did mention that you would have obtained land by now. But in your presentation, Principal, I did not gather whether you said when you were mentioning title deeds, if they're already in your position, because you did indicate that you were working with lawyers to get them. So are they already in your position? That's the first aspect, the title deeds, the land you said to obtain. And then on the second one, as the portfolio committee, we are aware that there were funded beds by the department. And if I'm not mistaken, for both yourselves and Mpumalanga College, amounted to 3,000 beds. I'm not sure if you're sharing half-half, but we do know that the department has funded such or declared to have funded such. We're not sure if the money is in your account. But in your presentation, you did mention that aspect. Maybe if you could just question.
The CFO will ask. However, I think one our utilized to join together with in guiding how that some technical the land members is, but after they the chiefs as and they commenced, and the part of Pedagog, there is a part that is also falling under the other thing of
Principal.
Yes, sorry.
So Principal, maybe let me, with all due respect you, but at the same time, my question was at least direct. Are the title deeds already in your possession? Because now you're repeating what you present, which was to my understanding it was. So do you have either of the title deeds in your position as yet?
Not
or
yet.
Not yet.
It's
You're still working on
progress,
it.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No, thanks, Principal.
Thank you so much.
There's an NSFAS rep. Yeah. So you owe the college. The college has claimed, and we have serious issues when the college has claimed their monies and you don't give them their monies, because that affects their working operations. Can you confirm that there is a claim that is in your position that you have not paid to the college, and why?
Thanks, Honorable Cesar. Yes, there is a payment which we have not made for all colleges, not only this college.
Yeah, let's focus on this one.
Because of the tranches from Treasury. So we've only been paid today, so the payment can be expected tomorrow or Wednesday. We owe the college about 7.5 million, which has not been paid to the account.
So that's a recent claim. It's not because in the presentation we would have, we would have received it as if there is an old claim that that NSFAS has not paid to the college. Maybe if we could just get clarity. Which payment is that? Is it a new claim for this financial year, not an old claim?
No, it's a new claim for this financial year, which we have not paid at the college.
Oh, it's not old monies that you are outstanding. Because that's how I received it as the presentation was being made by the principal. Maybe Principal, if you could assist. Is it, were you mentioning this particular amount for now, or is it monies that are owed to you by NSFAS that you already claimed but have not yet been paid?
Can assist with the overall money that we have claimed is 60 million out of the 55 students enrolled on our system. Now, I just want to check CFO to assist us of how much we had yet received on our end. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe as the acting DP Finance clarifies that particular point. Chair, as I learned, I'll just learn with maybe we'll leave other points here to get people with authority from the department. Maybe for tomorrow we'll interact with them, because I think the other issues cut across institutions where maybe we might be able to get responses from them. I think, Chair, maybe just parting short, as a parting short, I just want to further agree with the union reps when they say this acting that is currently happening in the private sector, particularly in TVET colleges, is directly affecting instability in terms of governance. No one wants to work and not know their fate, or take decisions that can be reversed the next day, and so forth and so on. So we must further stress, as we have been stressing, by the way, that the department is not helping us in terms of filling of vacancies. We even are told on the ground that the department knows well in advance if there's going to be early retirement or any other vacancy that is upcoming, but the department is not proactive and they are not helping us at all. Thank you very much, Chair.
I was not aware who I am the next person in line, Chair. Before line check, you panel.
Honorable Kopa.
Nako re jele ga ba gana ga bana re speak. Nako nyo ka fela no sa tsebo wa.
No, kopo ya rona ko re wa ngotse re wa bea.
Kapanye gobane le ha o mpona right to purpose.
E tla be le
No.
ga para kopa.
Chairperson, I need your intervention here. No, you are delaying accountability. There's nothing that is acceptable to panel in its already interviewed you. They were not operating as agents of the SIU. So there's absolutely no reason for you to refuse to give them Pasa Hanache. There's no law that protects you actually for refusing to give me those. So I'm asking, happy that we go Kopa Mabitso Pane. That dancer Abuela Kamaramingo. No, maybe I mean whatever you can also okay, let's try again. Mabitso Pane. Essentially Wahana. Gabi Koko Beto Hana Plella Panel. Wahana right now in front of the Republic of South Africa. We're now panel linya system sibitso bona gona bophelo ba go bokotsing tata ka bo
ke kopa fela fumane advice fela o legale ka empa he ke se kopa motsotso wa hona jwalo ka mpha motsotso hore e mehlano ke tla khotlela ho wena
ke a yemela ntata.
You have the name. My give them to, if you are saying to, you don't have them, say you have the list, you don't want on one page. You say, yes, during lunch I tried to, that panel, I've not received the response department. It's something that we can't force you to have received that. But if you say you have it, you must then tell us why you are refusing to give us a, and I've said, I answered the question for you guys. In my view, when it's a straightforward, very straight, but the department is unable to say something that you are protected by legislation to say the TVET not to have a leader. That's what the Act says. I've taken a decision. You guys are not saying it. You are actually making it as if there was somehow you're answering something that either the acting principal or council has done that, and that's why I intervened. Even here, I'm intervening because how I'm reading what you are saying is that I'm not going to answer. I think when we were on recess, people from the department, you're watching a lot of TV, and now you are section 31, and they don't want to incriminate me. Because that's literally what you are saying to us. I'm not going to answer, and I'm invoking. It doesn't, you could have said, yes, before lunch, we have not received a response from head office for that. Can we please come back to you? If you come and say, I don't want to give it to you, different story. It's something that regional manager, how do we say to the people of South Africa, we have sat in a meeting and agreed that you must not tell them how the panel that could have taken a decision that could have had financial implications as the people are paying for our salaries, but also voted can do. So please give us a better to honorable.
Now that you're back. Moving. Director General.
Director General Mefuchani,
DDG.
DDGCT, Dr. Bakrishan, the RM, Regional Manager.
Number, Itola Pelindat.
Ntate Msipa.
Wena ka fela. Wena ntate Msipa ye wana ga ba rena hatse.
Ntate Msipa ya ditshile rona mona.
Tema ngwana.
Ya ba le ya jole nne. Dr. T Ramasehla.
Ke mang Ramasehla?
Ke batla ke sa monepi.
Okay.
Chairperson wa
council.
Wa council. Ntate Opa Budiba or Budibe.
Ana Opa Budibe ko feng?
O actor as DDG skills, I believe, for now.
One.
Yeah. Ke le Willem.
Mudiba yo wa Mudiba. Mudiba tulo panel ke mang tata?
DDG Zungu.
Wa utlwisisa why ke ne ke batla mabitso. Ebile ke hlompha your reason for being reluctant to give me the names, because now there's no turning back. Because it is clear with the full competence of all of these people, there's no way they could have been confused about DPSA requirements. There's no way they could have agented the process that they were embarking on based on the reason that was given. There's no way they returned their own advertisement to themselves and then waited until today and still have not re-advertised. So, Ndadam Sipa, I'm giving you an opportunity to be honest with us right now, as a person who served in this panel, but also as the leader of the delegation, you have absolute authority and power to respond to me now. Of the people who applied for the post and were shortlisted, how many of them met the requirement of DPSA?
No, there was no shortlisting that was conducted. There were no people who were shortlisted.
Okay, but when you sat down as the panel, at what point did you sit down?
We sat down for the shortlisting exercise.
And then before you started the shortlisting, you then decided to abort mission?
Yes.
And you had not looked at any of the candidates?
No, we were given the list, but we had not gone through the details of the CVs.
So you decided out of the blue to contest the need of a certificate without knowing whether the people who applied had the certificate or not, randomly?
No, I'm saying that the list had indicated that these are the people who have the certificates and these are the ones that do not have the certificate.
Okay, yeah. Of those people who had the certificate and those who didn't have bablailing, how many had the certificate? How many didn't have the certificate?
I wouldn't know that information off my head.
If you were to estimate in that MCP, I mean, it was just April yesterday. I have an encyclopedia, a lot of memory about other things.
One net.
I don't like chair of council. Maybe when I wrote one net. What's all I tell you?
Chair, through you, Chair, I cannot also remember the list off my head.
Okay. So as a person who sat there, when you guys deliberated to say, no, we must go back, what informed the decision to say, we can't continue?
Okay, thank you very much. If I may respond through you, Chair. According to my understanding, Honourable Member, Nyukela certificate is not a legal requirement for someone to go through a shortlisting process. That's number one. Now, the advert said when a person applies, they need to have a Nyukela certificate. That contravenes the legal standing of a Nyukela certificate. That was our argument. Now, we then said, and this also goes back to the whole process of TVET, because we identified the gap in the whole TVET process to say, in fact, TVET did not follow a proper process. I'm going to request you to make reference of the adverts, let's say in Mpumalanga, for example. The advert will state clearly that certificate.
How long does it take to get the certificate?
1 day.
1 day.
1 day.
So you're able to go through
a maximum of.
So so in your understanding, you are able to go through, so be shortlisted, go through interviews, and then at the time of appointment, if you don't have it, then the people tell you, you are shortlisted, you are done. Now the only thing missing is the certificate.
If I may ask, Honorable Member, let's say you don't have a Nyukela certificate, does that mean you don't qualify to be a director?
That's not how it works.
Okay. My understanding, that is the case, because the adverts in Mpumalanga, for example, they will state that before you are appointed, you need to put you.
Okay. Then we're going back here to the advertisements for the same post that went out with the same certificate requirement. What is different about Sibande versus those other colleges?
My understanding was that on this one, the Nyukela certificate was made to be a requirement.
Agreeing that before lunch we had a conversation and I went that way to advertise it and certificate for other colleges.
Yeah, but then.
So my question is, if the advertising there for the deposit income round,
at what point is that certificate required?
Because you're really not engaging with my questions unless I do not have the capacity to ask in clarity, which I think I do. Chairperson, because of the time limit that you've given me, there are other things I want to talk to, but we must get to the bottom of this otherwise, because there are a lot of people who are on this panel that are not here that are truly the honest key holders of the truth around the appointment process of the principal of this institution. I said to you there are three possibilities, and it is very clear to me right now that nobody in this room is willing to tell me the truth. But that doesn't mean I won't get to the bottom of the truth eventually. I will, and that's why I was giving you an opportunity to be honest. And so I had made it clear that there are three options here, three possibilities. Either the panel, when looking at the list, as Ndatim Sipa has correctly now said and identified, that they had access to the list of applicants prior to their deliberations. And it is on the basis of their access to that list that they took a decision that they did not want to continue with the process. And even after wanting to re-advertise, they waited from April until today and there's still confusion altogether. That to me indicates it's either there's somebody that must be retained or somebody that must be ejected from the system, and that there must be space for somebody else that is done, that is created altogether. And this is not my first rodeo TVET college. I know how you guys operate, and it's very clear to assess In the meantime, you are dragging the integrity of this institution down. You're compromising the stability and management of this institution. Moving forward, Mentor.
No, maybe before we move. I think what you guys are missing is that the chair of council said how the advert came. The argument is that it came out wrong. It said they must have this particular certificates on application or at an application stage, and legally that is incorrect. And therefore, when they went to a meeting, they then said, no, the advert in itself, if we continue to process or to continue this process, we are going to participate in a process that legally has got problems. And that's what him and Msipa saying, that we stopped it at the beginning because it had legal problems in future. And because I thought I must clarify that part, because it looked like you guys are saying, or you guys are talking past each other on this matter. So if that is the understanding, then we must then accept that probably where they are from a legal point of view, they ask the right questions to say, department, relook at this thing. Because if you continue with the process, and maybe somebody does not come to an interview, because firstly they applied on the basis that they understood what the legal requirement is. But when council then says, in order, look how person X will have shortlisted you, please when you come for an interview, bring the certificates. Then there would have been, actually somebody would have had a legal basis to even challenge them. And my understanding of what they are raising is that they stopped it at that point to say, let's get a response from department and DPSA, higher education and DPSA on this thing. Maybe we might concede that the advert as it came out could be fixed. That was my understanding. But be that as it may, then we must still answer. Are we then saying all other adverts that came out, not necessarily, because the chair says they've seen a trend of this requirement being a requirement from Mpumalanga. So the insinuation, or what he's telling us without telling us, is that in other provinces the adverts are different. Can you then confirm that other adverts that came out after this one were then rectified correctly from a legal and interpretation point of view that were raised by the panel that you were sitting on?
No, thanks, Chair. I think on the first part of the discussion, the process itself is well documented, and there is no reason to be dishonest or to mislead the committee. To that extent, we are even willing to provide the minutes of that panel and how the process unfolded in the spirit of transparency, and to provide the response that is detailed to the committee itself. About the advert, I think the colleagues will assist on that regard, the revision of the advert.
Chairperson, I certainly heard everything that was being said, so I don't have comprehension issues. I understood 100%. And the reason why I asked you about how long it takes to get that certificate is because if you're a person applying, for me, it doesn't matter whether you get it before the shortlisting or afterwards. The bottom line is, when I apply for a job and I know that job is going to require me to drive a vehicle, I know where I'm supposed to have a driver's license in order to drive a vehicle in the Republic of South Africa. So by application, it gets clearly with a driver's license. So, and we know in this case that DPSA, no maganjan, DPSA wants that certificate. So for me, there's no problem of saying ahead of time, if you're going to apply, within a day, get a certificate, apply and get it out of time. The reason why, Ndatam Sipa, I am not prepared to receive your transparency is because just before lunchtime, you were confused yourself as if you were not part of the panel. Now, now you know what's going on. That for me raises flags about your ability to reflect honestly about the process. But that is a conversation we'll have at a later stage, because even the person that was advising the panel about the DPSA's requirements themselves indicated before lunch, because I do not have amnesia. They indicated before lunch that they were clear that the bottom line is, if you need candidates, these candidates are supposed to, as per TPA requirements, have the certificate. For me, it only becomes weird when you sit and then you're supposed to shortlist, and then all of a sudden jiggy because there's somebody on the list that doesn't have that certificate and somebody doesn't. And also, as at all. But I'm moving forward to a next conversation because I have time limitation. I want to understand, who was the CFO? How long have you been in your position? From the
1st of June 2025.
From the 1st of June 2025. What were you doing before that?
I was a finance manager.
In the same institution?
Yes.
For how long, ma'am?
From April 2023.
For April 2023. Before April 2023, what were you doing?
I was the auditor.
Auditor, yes. Auditor of the same institution?
No.
Which institution?
From a private company.
Okay. Is there anybody in this institution currently that worked in the finance department from 2019 up to now? Or have you all been cleansed? So nobody worked in the finance office during the time of the SIU's investigation into the mismanagement of funds and maladministration in this institution? All of them are gone. Where did they go?
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. The CFO by then had resigned, was an acting CFO, then had resigned. And then the manager also on finance as well, also had left the institution.
That I understand. Yes. I think the person who was supposed to respond is unfortunately not here, but let me try and the people who were employed in this institution who are implicated in the investigations to SIU, or who were responsible for finances and accounting within the institution during the time of the investigation and proclamation, where in the system did they go? So when they left here,
You don't know. Yeah, no, we don't have that information now. We can send it in writing.
Okay, so you're saying, all of you here, including Labour, nobody in this room knows where anybody went. Nobody knows. It's very interesting. An additional 5 minutes? Okay, thank you. It's not possible. So there's nobody who knows the wives, the girlfriends, who goes to church, who knows the family. No, nobody. Nobody knows nothing. And I'll still get to the bottom of it eventually, even if I don't get it to today. But the point I'm trying to then get to the bottom of by asking this question is, we have a revolving door of corruption in this country. One person moves from this institution to the next institution with absolute protection and no accountability. That for me is the problem. Let's deal with this last one. When quickly. Unale HOD Spellman. Mike.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Spellman is currently employed here at Standerton campus.
They're not here today?
She's not here. I've not seen her today, but yes, she's not here.
Okay. Why was Spellman dismissed eventually, and then before they came back?
Was dismissed for tampering with marks. She then appealed to the department, then the appeal committee ruled in her favor.
So you as the institution found her guilty of tampering the marks for her children specifically?
The child disciplinary hearing found her guilty.
Guilty. Yes. So you had proof this person was a problem. Or instead of her kids studying, she just handled the situation herself. And then she appealed to the department.
Correct.
What was the department's reason for overturning the college's findings of guilty on Ms. Spellman? He doesn't know because Manzini.
There's Mr. Kamano who's going to assist him.
Ndada Kamano.
One of my favorite.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Member, unfortunately, we will not know the reasons because it's operate independently, the appeal committee, but I can then request those reasons from them and forward it to the chairperson or to the secretary of the...
Okay. I think that matters because I don't think there's any lecturer sitting in this or listening wherever or that is employed by this institution who finds confidence in knowing that one of their colleagues can tamper with the marks and manipulate this. That's because that's corruption. The sheer definition of corruption is manipulating processes and overexerting your power for your own personal benefit, right? And so I do not think there is any person in this institution who would enjoy teaching students, working hard, sacrificing their own family's time, and even parents who send their kids here and see their children sweat, and even students themselves who go through cause chowing. They get depressed and they end up dating the wrong person just to relieve stress, only to know that there's somebody in this institution that is able to manipulate marks, gets fired, and then somebody in the Department of Higher Education can decide, no shame, you know what, it's okay, that's a problem, and that is not acceptable to me. There's the last one, labor. Labor, I think somebody else will address it. You indicated that NSFAS, you said you've received 60 million rands from the amount of money that NSFAS owes you. That's the amount that they owe you. You claimed 60. I'll rest on this one.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. We had claimed 60 million. However, this far we had received 25 million.
And then where's the remainder of the money?
Okay, thanks, Chair. Honorable, what happens is when the institution claims, they send us the full registration for the year. In that full registration for the year, it will have the full cost of study. But when we pay, we will pay it, we will take that money, we divide it by 10 so that we can pay it in 10 monthly installments. So including the tuition, we are doing the same. Mainly because, Chair, we are not getting the full amount upfront, we are getting it in tranches from Treasury. So that's the reason, Chair.
Okay, so but there's a commitment, Vele.
There is a commitment, like I said earlier, for this month of July when we're paying. We put the tuition for all TVETs on hold, but the money came in today, so we are paying them tomorrow. Latest will be on Wednesday. It should be in their bank
So by the end of this academic year,
the full amount that they claimed would then be paid.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I sometimes make you repeat because we've got our recording. And you see that gentleman there next to me from Parliament TV, he wants it projected. These certificates, or marking certificate is NSG. When did public service include it as a requirement? 2026, 2024, 2020, April 2020. Okay. So me and Honorable Msazan have opened an advert here for SIAT principal. It went out on the 3rd of March 2025. On the advert, there is no requirement for this certificate. No, I'm looking at it now because the chair of council said this thing looks like it's a Mpumalanga phenomenon. So wanted to prove that is wrong or right. But this advert that came out on the 3rd of March 2025 for SIAT in KZN does not have the requirement of this certificate. How do we explain that? I know it might not, it's fine, we'll write to the department, HR department to help us understand. Because this thing is at the center of this problem. And now it even made more sense, Honorable Khakao, that Gert Sibande decided to say, no, you can't continue because this thing looks like we are a targeted people. Because you have advertised in KZN 3 March 2025. There was no such a thing. Reference number DHET 10/02/2025. So internally you approved it in February. I can tell you we're looking at the reference of 2025. Some 5 years after the public service issued that thing as a requirement, you do that, and then when you come to Gert, you do it different. So we'll write to the department to clarify this. Now it makes sense for me why there was that a quarrel by the panel to say, no, if we continue here, we're going to create problems. We're going to legitimize a process that is not implemented uniformly across. And this is what you should have said. You had a follow-up. No, it's still on my time.
No, thanks, Chair. No, it's very, very direct. Perhaps again to yourself, acting HR. You said you're acting HR director. These posts, Chair, I just also learned that as I was searching for this information here.
No, you are director of the college.
No, of the department.
Oh,
department. Yeah. I just learned as I was inquiring about this, Chair, that a certain gentleman here who also applied said there were documents missing. CV. He was not shortlisted because his CV was missing. And what is troubling, Chair, as well is that if this post closed on March 2025 and people are still being shortlisted now, I mean, I don't know what the department has to say for itself. Post closed in March, they still are shortlisting now. And apparently I just learned that one of the gentlemen's CV is missing. So I think there's issues of missing documents. I just want to know. So when you advertise this principalship post across the country, were you doing it one college at a time or across the spectrum? Because it's troubling that a number of affected colleges, some claim that they have not been advertised. There's another matter that I think we'll address when the DG is here or someone representing the DG in terms of consistency on the appointments of these principals. But I just want to know if they were all advertised at the same time where they are vacant position for principals.
Maybe before you answer, how long have you been with the department?
I started in 2022 as the Director Collective Bargaining. But to act as the Chief Director HR, it has been a month now.
Yeah, so let me protect you. Don't answer that. No, we will write, and I will write to the relevant people in the department because you worry to something very kinamomata. So,
thank you.
Yeah, no, I think I must protect you. It's you. Okay. Honorable Governor says ladies first.
Thanks, Chair. No, I think I just have 2 or 3 questions. The first one is directed to the principal, the acting principal, or the council chair. In the college, we have 3.3 something beds available, but we have 2.2 occupied. Why do we have so much gap when we have an enrollment of 8,000 and something learners currently? Why do we have a gap of close to 1,000 that is not occupied?
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. When it comes to the beds, I would say maybe the problem that we are currently facing as a college, we have more enrollment, we have less enrollment, let me correct myself, sorry, less enrollment and more beds. So then now we had spoken to the NSFAS that there might not be any accreditations now, so that our bed can just remain as it is, because now our numbers are getting less, so there's a less demand and there are more of the beds. So that is why we are having that. But we do have like campuses where we don't have those challenges. Beds are equal to the number of enrollment. But we do have Standerton that is affected. We have MLO that is affected. But other campuses, they are accredited beds and also equal to the number enrolled are equal to that. So it's a matter of accreditation of the beds. But I know that NSFAS had closed now. They are no longer accrediting the beds. So that is what we had requested to them. They are no longer accrediting so that we don't have more. Thank you.
No, I understand. You have 65% of students funded by NSFAS. The missing gap, some of them are funded by SITAs and other bursaries. How many are not funded at all? And how does it affect dropouts? How does it affect young people of South Africa to be deprived by the system because of financial exclusion? And how many in terms of numbers? Out of the 2 point something that is not funded by NSFAS, how many are funded by SITAs and how many are left there without funding?
Thank you so much. With this one, can I ask a financial aid officer to take it for me, just to have the actual numbers of the student affected? Thank you so much.
Thank you, and greetings once again. We do have quite a gap of 1.6 students that are remaining without funding. Is not an exact amount or number, but we have gotten some of the SITAs as projected that have been funding students, and the actual gap of students not funded as a result of limited SITAs that are coming on board, it is affecting the dropouts. It is adding to the frustrations of the students. For some of them, in terms of the college side, they are qualifying for funding in terms of progression, in terms of financial background, yet we are not involved process of funding. Some it was results incorrectly captured, or the integration between the DHET results and NSFAS, of which the students will be progressed on our side, but in terms of NSFAS it will indicate a final academic eligibility. Then there is a process that we must then load the results of the students to update the system of NSFAS in terms of the progression of a student. That we are also experiencing non-movement in terms of that, because they have progressed on our side, but they have not, they still have that status of ineligibility, then they remain unfunded.
How long does it take for the process to unclear for NSFAS to see that the child has progressed?
We have engaged NSFAS at the beginning. It's supposed to be less than a month for those updates to take place. For some of the students, the truth of the matter is that they remained not funded because of that update on academic eligibility.
And how many of them, in terms of numbers, that are affected by this certain process?
Okay, I might not have the exact numbers, but we might have 600 students that might be affected because of that.
NSFAS, can you please come in with some clarity on this matter, please? Because if you are talking about 600 learners, then it means you are speaking about 600 direct affected families. Yeah, it's not their problem.
Thanks, Chair. What we had, Honorable, at the beginning of the year was an issue of the gap year investigation. These are students that have taken a gap funding, and when our system was processing the results, they did not take into consideration the results where a student was self-funded. So we then engaged the institutions to say they must send us the results that they have on their system so that we can match those results.
How long does it take for the institution to send you those details, and how long does it take in your office to capture and correct the information?
Once we get the results, it takes us 24 hours. So I've asked Mr. Kachala now to check exactly the number of students that were affected by that in this institution. We got there were 74 students that were affected here in this institution. Out of that, based on the results we have received, some of them could not be funded, mainly because the results that we received, they still could not progress, and it's only about 19 students where the results where they progressed based on the list that we have received from this institution.
I'm a bit confused because even the financial person that side is shaking her head, meaning there's something that is, Can you align numbers, please? Because you're speaking of 74, she was speaking of 600. Can the gap in between be filled so that we are clear what happened during this time of the process and what still holds funding for these students? Because that's what we want to understand. That's what we want to get there.
Okay, Chair. I think we will have to talk to the financial aid officer so that we can align in terms of the numbers, because we may be talking about students that were not funded for other reasons, but these that were not funded for gap investigation is the number that we have. But overall, Chair, we've got students that were not funded, some of them because they could not progress, and it's also they have exceeded the N+ rule as well. So those are some of the reasons why we might have the student, but we will align. In fact, I will ask Ms. Dewandisile, who's the specialist at NSFAS, to maybe speak with her while we are in this meeting so that they can align in terms of the numbers. Thanks.
Okay, I will allow that process to take, but can you please respond to us in writing and fully detailed report on what happened to the funding of these unfunded learners? And also, when you are dealing with the numbers, can you please put it in mind and bear in mind that you are not dealing with statistics, but human beings. You are dealing with young people that needs funding, that come from a very deprived background, a background that don't even afford their meals. How do they then are expected to afford a tuition fee, which is very much impossible? So can we close the gap? 2,000 and something is a large number, a very big number not to be allocated with any funding in order to be able to study. I'll move very fast to the issue of foreign teachers. We have 10 that you have presented in front of us, and 8 of them are lecturers. What special and scarce skills are they providing in the institution that was not found in the country? Out of all 8, which special skills do they provide that was the scarce skill that you could not find in the country, that you had to go outside the country and get them? Ada from Zimbabwe, please.
No, thanks very much, ma'am. If you look at the 8 of them, they were employed somewhere around 2022. Indeed, you are correct, they are not providing any scarce skill.
Not all of them were employed in 2020. There's the recent one, 2020, 2023, 2022. All 8, they don't provide any scarce skills. It's Bachelor of Engineering, Honours, Bachelor of Science, and Honours in Agriculture. There's nothing that is rare and not found in the country. If I may ask, why did they get the first preference rather than filling the gap of the unemployment that we're facing as the country? I'm speaking of 8 people that are employed, not providing anything that is different from what we have and from what we can offer. Seated there trying to give reasons. What would have been a better reason to get a foreign person to come be a lecturer, having a diploma in education, whereas we have produced more than 5,000 of those in our universities, and they're out there unemployed, irregardless of the year? 2022, 2018, 2016 is the same thing to me. What was the logic behind it?
No, thanks very much, ma'am. I'm willing to go back and check with HR records to check why they were employed. I'm seated now, ma'am. I don't have any explanation that I can provide why they were not employed. Why they were employed, ma'am. I accept that there's no special skill or skill that we're providing, but I don't have reasons why I'm seated now, ma'am.
There are 2 that I would want to get clarity also about. The contract that ends in November this year, ASD Research. This person's contract is ending now, and you have them as a research team with BCom, Honours, Masters of Commerce. Same question. So you can't respond to it as if I'm talking about something that happened in 2023. This must be a recent contract. What led to these 2 appointments? Because there's nothing special about this. Maybe you can talk about the trade certificate, the automotive diploma in motor engineering, but I'll also further ask, did you exhaust finding a candidate in South Africa rather than jumping to another Zimbabwean? This is the 8th one. And 2, I'm not being xenophobic, I'm just trying to address a question that we have.
No, correct, ma'am. ASD research, ma'am. I'm advised by HR here that it was council resolution that person must be appointed.
It was advised by
HR here that it's a council resolution that the ASD research must be appointed or must be given a contract.
It means the chair can answer and give clarity on this one.
Thank you very much for that. The decision was taken based on the fact that we needed the office, and the contract, it had come to our attention through the accounting officer that no, this contract is ending. Then we said, okay, don't extend it for the full term. While we're trying to find a person, just extend for 6 months. And then in the process of finding that the person who can replace, that was the basis as to why we extended the contract.
So how far is the process at the moment in replacing this after this extension?
I cannot confirm the details now.
Can we get those details, please?
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. I think the advert was supposed to be out by August. I think we can check the progress with the HR. It was advised that we issue the advertisement. The post also is not on a PPN post. It's a college council post. It's funded by the college council funding. So it's a post that we cannot advertise permanent, but however consider it on a contract basis. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, do you understand the Public Service Act? What is that? No, the Employment Service Act. What does it say on employment of foreign nationals? HR.
Thank you so much, Chair. It indicates that foreign national must have permanent resident or a visa for special skills before being appointed.
And on this, was it research? What is that? Or is it R&D? This one? What is this?
Assistant Director Research.
Yeah. What process did you follow there?
Chair, we did recruitment and selection process, and then candidates were shortlisted, and then we also conducted interview before appointing. However, we did not go outside that process to look for South Africans that are qualifying. I think that was our error on our side,
No.
Chairperson.
So you don't understand this Employment Service Act. I think it's Section 5. You can want to read it for you, because it's very concerning that you are at HR. The person who is supposed to follow this act to the latter. It's an employment act, and you are an employer. You are now but you don't understand what laws or processes to follow. It's a big worry for one Section 5. Let me try. Is it 8? Section 8. Yeah, employment of foreign national. I'm going to read it for you. It says 8.1. An employer may not employ a foreign national within the territory of the Republic of South Africa prior to such foreign national producing an applicable valid work permit issued in terms of the Immigration Act. That is one, right? 2. It says the minister may, after consulting the board, make regulations to facilitate the employment of foreign nationals, which regulations may include the following measures. A. The employer must satisfy themselves that there are no other persons in the Republic with suitable skills to fill a vacancy before recruiting a foreign national. You understand what does that mean? What does it say? What does it mean? What does it mean? You don't have to answer. I can see you understand now, because in any case, it's illegal of what you guys did. It's against the law. Yeah, the employment service.
Correct.
It's against the law. And I'm busy with the security class on getting people who continue to break the laws of South Africa arrested. And most of them are at university, many of them. And many of them are hidden through something they call the postdocs. So they no longer employ lecturers. They go to postgraduate, postdoctoral people, yeah, and then put them there to do. And then if you go there, I can tell you now, the work that we've been doing, there will be no less than 70% MMP of postdocs being foreign nationals. So we're not targeted, we're not xenophobic. We're now elected here to go protect the citizens of this country, to protect the law, adhere to the law. The law says, Section 8(2)(a) tells you that there can be no justification for you to do what you did. Tomorrow when you go and open cases, you will say Ralizwanda. No. That table has got interest there at Sibande. That's what you guys say. Like these other ones of construction center, they wrote to the speaker last week about me. I'm asking a person who got 42 guilty, 42 charges guilty of gross negligence, right, and says I'm targeting her.
Yeah, Chair, thank you very much. I'll have a few questions as well. I think one of the things, Chair, when we come here now, we must come with a van and police, because we're tired of people who are breaking the law and keep on saying, it was an error. This thing of saying it was an error. People are employed. These guys, they earn millions, some of them, but they're busy breaking the laws of the country. They've created us march and march on all those things. Who have now become the upholder of South African law, surpassing all of us, because you guys are failing to uphold the law of the country. So you've given leverage. Now March and March is working very hard. He's an upholder of the law, working side by side with Home Affairs because of you guys who are neglecting your duties. Check. Let me check. Principal, on your slide 8 to 9, it says your GBV that the chair spoke about. It says that there are no incidents, I think, for a long period, but all of a sudden it says you don't have a policy, you don't have tools of measurement, you don't have whistleblowing, you don't have any facilities, counseling facilities or anything to try and measure your GBV. How then do you keep on getting these no incidents? What tools of analysis or input that tells you that your institution it's a clean one, it doesn't have GBV, there's no GBV. When you don't even have a policy that measures that, not even a whistleblowing, not even a facility maybe for counseling or for training kids about GBV. So what it is that tells you that you have no incidents in your TVET college of the GBV?
Thank you so much. Honorable Member, can I request the Student Support Manager to respond on my behalf on this one? Thank you.
Good afternoon, honourable members, SRC and staff members. What we are doing in student support services from last year, we've got plans for GBVF campaigns. We have reached a total of 6,800 last year. We do a lot of campaigns with Siriti, your DSD, and many other stakeholders. And we've got higher health on site. We've got a campus care worker based at Sibande. They run quite a number of campaigns to make an awareness for GBVF. We also work with the Department of Health to ensure that we have a lot of campaigns. We also have in place now the policy that went on consultation. We have also licensing officers, academic support services, that one of the key responsibilities is to ensure that all those students who are reporting any other matter related to gender-based violence and femicide, they are referred either to the Department of Health. We outsource most of our services because we do not have social workers, but the Higher Health also gave us a social worker at Evander campus that services all our campus. We also have a counsellor based at Standerton campus. That is basically what we are doing. But our gender-based violence and femicide plan, it goes across for the whole year. Any other incident that will or might be reported, we do counselling, we do referrals. We also outsource outside psychologists and we pay them as a college because we don't have a psychologist that is based at the college. But at Mpumalanga, we've got one psychologist, which makes it difficult for her to cover all our campuses. That is basically what we can say and what we are doing.
Okay, I'm asking again, how are you making kids aware, like a whistleblowing, that this is a police, this is how you report GPV anonymously, you are protected if a lecturer has abused you. You're telling me about a plan and campaigns and all this stuff. I'm asking, here is a little girl that has a problem with the lecturer, knows that this guy is abusing me. I want to report him, but the moment I report him, I'm going to fail this course or I have to change the TVET college. What are the reporting mechanisms you have anonymously, whistleblowing, everything that will protect anyone who is reporting this GBV, including the plan that of the police that needs to be approved by the council that doesn't exist. So what is the plan of protecting these people so when they report the GBV?
Okay, I'm hearing your questions, honourable member. Hence, I said there are plans in place, and during our induction and orientation, that's where we speak about the gender-based violence and how and when do we report. But some of the measures that you are indicating now as a college is part of the policy that went on consultation. But in our induction and orientation, it really assists also if there are issues.
So which means the policy they don't have, you guys don't have a policy, you don't have even a whistleblowing. So how do you measure yourself that now on this no incident? It's really because of no incident, because it means the reason you have no incidents because you don't hold the people accountable, no one is reporting it. So you just busy clapping hands that you have no incident, but you have nothing that assists you for reporting and holding people on account on the GPV. So you are misleading yourself. They didn't do even, on students, you do what you call an assessment. You send an assessor, please, when you do those things, you say, explain how are we doing. A survey or survey to tell you that really with no incident you are doing work. That's on survey. You will get the result that you are not doing anything about it.
So let's ask it differently. And the point is not to catch you up. The point is to understand where our problems might be. As I've said earlier on when we opened, we said GBV for us is a very serious thing. And it's one of the most underreported cases generally. Now, so you are saying in 2025, or are you saying 2026, you had no cases? What was the answer? What was the question? No cases in 2026? No cases in 2025? When was the last case you had?
I think I'll ask the campus manager of Balfour because we had a case in Balfour concerning a lecturer, but the principal spoke to that case that it was closed and the person was not found guilty.
Yeah, let me tell you why you don't have case. For a alleged victim to come out against the lecturer, it's a huge step. I mean, I'm not a female, but I can tell you, I do a lot of research. These ones, they laugh at me when I tell them that. When you see me going out in places where they only open at 9, I'm not going there to be busy with other wrong things. I'm there to do research on human behavior especially. Yeah. And in my interaction with these young ones, it comes out that sometimes these young ones get sexually harassed, but they can't say because the person who has harassed them has got some standing in society. Might be a school principal when they were in high school, or a teacher when they were in high school, or an uncle at home who's working, or a mureki, somebody who buys them alcohol, or a lecturer who can decide whether they progress academically or not. So those are the people with a huge standing in society. So for this person to stand up and report this case, it's like moving a mountain. So you're saying the one in Balfour, what happened is the person was found not guilty. Let me tell you, in the eyes of this particular child, and possibly every other young girl at Balfour or even the entire Gert Sibande, what that decision would have meant. And I'm not saying treat people differently because they are male. I'm not saying so. But from where they are sitting, the system chose an easy way out. The system chose to be on the side of a lecture. So this is where this child is possibly sitting. I don't know the facts. Trust me. I don't want to entertain the facts at this point. But one of the reasons why you are not getting cases being reported might be your students have lost confidence on you handling their cases. Because the reason why I wanted to ask it differently was to try and show you that sometimes we do something, because here we're from political parties, we've got something that we call factions. You see, factions kill political parties. Faction, even Msazana is in my faction, even if he's wrong, I must defend him at the expense of the right thing. And now people start losing confidence on you guys as an organization, not because a particular faction took a decision. Now, even yourselves at the workplace, you do have those things. Campus manager. And campus manager is finally that HOD of engineering. And if that HOD of engineering is accused of sexual harassment, we'll do everything, we'll use the law to protect it. Because we're in charge. And you'll win. You'll find him not guilty. No problem. But your learners lose confidence on the system being a fair system. And therefore we lose the fight against gender-based violence because they will now decide not to report. And no reporting does not mean good news. It might be that we are now brewing an angry society that feels like the world is against them. And one day, this anger is going to burst. And when it does, we are going to claim that we don't know what happened. And that's why sometimes I don't condone violence. But sometimes I sit back and ask myself, why did that child take a father's gun and go and shoot somebody at the game? Ask myself, sorry, this child is 17 years old. What's a metric? Why am I 2 years on that? Why you am gating and shot the principal or a teacher? And it's because sometimes we're creating an angry society. And I'm not saying let's have a system that's against men. I'm not saying I'm a man. But let's create a just system that is going to make sure that if a young female comes out and reports, the system does not work against them. And we're not saying let's do them favors, no. Because we also understand that some of them create these false narratives of being raped, we know. But we're not saying the system must give them a blank check to do so. We're saying let the system be just. If they come and say Tebogo was raped, let the system not judge Tebogo because he's Tebogo. You must judge him because on the basis that he's an alleged perpetrator, fairly. That's as an alleged. Because if you don't look at it that way, from now it's 2026. You'll get to 2030 without a reported case. But that doesn't mean you don't have, if you were sleeping here, I was going to look for something here. I was going to walk around, try and do research. I was going to get somebody who was going to say, we can't do this because of, I can tell you, because we are going to open free space for them. And if you don't create that free space, you're not going to get them. And we're creating a very angry society. So maybe think about it. And maybe let's allow them to anonymously report certain things. We had cases, many cases, at Mango State University of Technology, where even people who were graduates were now who had engineers who came out and said, lecturer X, Y, and Z forced us to sleep with them for marks. If you remember a few years ago, that sex for marks thing at Mango Suit, they came out because some heroine decided to say, no, I can't stand for it. One person stood up and a can of worms, going back years, was saying, hey, chief, there we're not going to survive. And when they were coming, there were many. And that's not what we want. Because that system protected perpetrators, made it very difficult for victims to come out. Until recently when a heroine literally said, I'll rather bomb if they say that there's a bomb, I'm going, but I'm going to tell the truth. But we must create that environment. Baba, please. Yeah.
No, thank you very much, Chair. I think my last question, Chair, I didn't have many questions, is this one for marking payments. The economy is bad these days. 1 month not being paid is a challenge. So what causes this non-payment of markers, and how many employees that you guys aren't paying, and how much amount is outstanding? And what are the causes for that? I'm sure all of you guys at executive level, once you miss 1 month, you don't get paid. The whole TVET college will fall into pieces. But you have these people at the lowest level, markers, who goes months without being paid. But what causes that non-payment, and what's the plan in place to pay them? The economy is not even very good, so you still have people that you goes for months without paying their salary. What causes that? How many? And the total amount that needs to be paid to them? And what's the plan in place to make sure that if I've done work a month and I get paid for the work that I've done?
Dr. Ramrock, I know you are going to answer from exam, but I was asking myself all along, Honorable Govan, or why Honorable Govan is from MK. I was asking myself, why did Zuma suspend Brian Molefe? Now I understand that Brian was not paid for a month, so he decided to take for himself. Now you can answer. It was on a lighter note. No, it's okay. Yeah, but so shoot is over.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you, Honourable Member, for the question.
What we do normally, and I think we have agreed with the unions in terms of the payment, we usually pay it within 30 days for the service rendered, and we pay after 2 months for transport. And it has been happening for years. The only challenge we had, it was this year, January. We couldn't pay within 30 days, because due to the fact that there was a circular issued, I hope it's DPSA, about fiscal counting of officials. So officials of finance and HR were out there during January to count people in the colleges, so they couldn't process them. But all these years, I think we've managed to comply with the payment. It was only this year in January because the finance official and HR were out in the colleges physically counting people because that was the requirement. But there's no bonus outstanding, they've been paid. The complaint here is that they are paid after 2 months instead of within 30 days. So we will try and comply, especially with regards to the marking payment. And then in terms of the transport payments, our finances says it takes time because they've got to verify the distances. There's a lot of logistics. But in terms of the payment for the marking, that must happen within 30 days. But as I indicated, we have been issuing a circular that indicates when the payments are going to be done for the job rendered as well as for transport. Okay, and last one, Chair. The proclamation R144 of 2023, is there any activities happen on that proclamation by the President for Gert, for this TVET college? Have you guys provided information requested by probably an SIU investigator? What activities are happening with that investigation? I know that the TVET college will know because these people, when the proclamation has been announced, they come and ask for document at the college and ask all the sorts of information and everything. Has there any activity? How long has it been? Has everything been provided to them? That's all, Chapter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honourable Member. Regarding the SIU investigation, the college has been cooperating with the investigation. We currently had received the individual report. However, the investigation is still ongoing. On the individual report, it was suggested and recommended for the final written warning. They were issued to those officials that were there on the report. However, most of them had left and some are deceased. They are no longer in the system. They had passed away. But all that are still within the premises and within Sibande TVET College, the warning letters were given to them. However, the process is still ongoing. We had reached out to the office to request the consolidated report. That's when we had found out that the case is still ongoing. So the case is not yet closed. Thank you.
Okay. Labour, what is your, please give Labour there. What is your relationship with management? The relationship of Labour with management.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I hope you still remember my request earlier on that I be assisted by my comrades when you ask me difficult questions.
Yeah, that is why I did not call you by name.
Yes,
I said Labour.
thank you. No.
Yeah, and this one is not a difficult question.
Yeah, no, I know there are some difficult questions coming, so that's why I have to remind you up front. And as I stated in my opening remarks that we enjoy a positive and cordial and constructive open relationship with management to the extent that we are also part of the Labour Forum where we are able to raise issues and in the majority of cases they will be received positively. And there is also an avenue of bilaterals between ourselves and the executive as and when the need arises. So we would say we have a normal relationship, if I were to use that word.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the reason I'm asking is because in your presentation, or in the presentation of Labour, there was a lot of complaints about many things in the college. Not been briefed about project, was it Balfour, with phase 1. You don't know whether phase 2 is coming, phase 3, Scala Farm. You don't know whether it still belongs to the college or not. Acting positions, you don't know what is happening. So that's the reason I'm asking. I did hear when you said it's cordial. But I thought if that is the case, then it means all these challenges, you would have ventilated them internally with management. This is my, and I may be wrong, but this is how I'm just thinking. Like, could have done. Am I correct in thinking like that?
Yeah, I don't know if we created the impression that there is a hostile relationship. I think it must be corrected. However, when you look at our presentation, you will notice that in some areas we are calling upon the Department of Higher Education and Training to intervene and exercise their responsibility, because in some cases it is beyond the college executive powers. So where you are saying in many areas, perhaps you are referring to those areas, the acting, all these actings, they were stopped by the Department of Higher Education and Training. It is for that reason we are raising them. Where with management we had engaged issues and they've not provided clarity, like the issue of the Balfour phase 2, it was raised in proper platforms and there was no clarity. And since it's a Department of Higher Education and Training project, we saw it fitting that it should be part of our presentation so that perhaps it can assist management. And management in their presentation did not include phase 2 for Balfour to show that maybe they also don't have clarity. So it is for that reason the way they put the. Can I move the mic to my comrades if there is anything to add?
I think you covered that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's not, you're not responding. You are not responding because you are afraid again. And I agree, this is our meeting. In our meetings, you should not be afraid. If there are issues that management, maybe acting principal Alex Hosa been sending you messages, hey, so you must know in our meetings you are protected, so you speak freely. Because I always tell management, not only of TVET colleges, sitters themselves, even these naughty ones who write about us every day, but also universities, that workers are service delivery champions. And if they are not happy, principal, you are not going to get the required result because you are not keeping your workers. So that's why I wanted to ask, to check if it looks like you do have some, maybe it's not going to be a perfect relationship, but you're going to have, but I think it's much better, the relationship. I'm comfortable now, but because I was worried that all the issues that were being raised, if the relationship was cordial, then it paints a different picture. But I hear it's because most of those things falls under the Department of Higher Education and Training responsibility. I'm very, very comfortable. And just for the record, I think we've agreed that we'll write to the department on a number of issues. I hope you have recorded those. And when we write, it will not be because we're targeting you guys in the department. It's because we want a seamless system. We want a system, you see, I always tell people, around October, November, Auditor General is going to release audit findings, like she does every year. And I always tell people that I want to move to a point where in higher education, everybody has got a clean audit. We are now concentrating on the impact that these entities are doing or not doing in addressing or in justifying their existence. But the problem is we're starting doing things right, following procedure. For example, HR, they hire a non-South African. In the same process, they advertise, everybody applies. And they adjudicate everybody the same way. That's not what the law says. And this is not xenophobia. It can't be xenophobia. Actually, when we started this thing, Yusuf, that organization of vice chancellors in South Africa, tried to attack me personally and said, this is academic xenophobia. And I challenged them to show me xenophobia. And I told them that just that I'm not an academic, but if I was an academic marking their paper, because many of them wrote opinion pieces, about 4 vice chancellors. And I told them if it was me marking them, I was going to give them 0 out of 100. Because they're not answering the question. The question was never about us needing what we call the policy framework or supporting a policy framework called internationalization. We support it because we don't think South African institutions must work in isolation. You must have people from outside of South Africa to bring diversity, their skills. We believe so. You don't need to convince us there. We're convinced we do need them. But when you hire them, you must follow the law. For an example, if you need assistant director, I don't think there can be any scarce skill called on the assistant director level. Anyway, but this is just me, I might be wrong. Maybe if you accept chief director, and that will come after director or deputy director. Is a deputy director and assistant director. Which one comes first? Assistant comes first. Then after that you have deputy director. Then you have director. Then chief director. Or you see where you are. So there can be no, there will be no scarce skill there. Right? So, but if you wanted somebody to come in there, you could have simply said, I want to bring this person because this is the CV they have. They've worked at Harvard, they come from Sussex, they come from VETS, I want them to bring in this culture of producing results. But this person is not South African. So I'm going to apply to the Minister of Higher Education and say, Minister, I want this person, I'm going to headhunt, because my policy allows. I want this particular person, it's not a South African, it's from Nigeria, it's from Zim, we bring them in specifically for this. That can be, and it's allowed, it's there in law. ESCOM, when they're struggling, went and got artisans. Not Sibande, I'm sure they made noise. Hey, we are producing artisans, we want artisans with this work ethic. That is allowed. They went and applied and the minister gave them there. So we're not saying don't hire for internationalization purposes, foreigners. You can, but don't do so by breaking the law. Because when you break the law, it's like, I'm sure it's only myself and Honorable Msazane who have guns. So when you do a license of a car, okay, they say to you, self-defense is allowed. They tell you, right? But when even the person is inside your bedroom, when they, I think he bought his gun, he bought his license. But they say to you, if this person who might even be inside your bedroom is not facing you, and you shoot them at the back, it's not self-defense, it's murder. This person is inside. So you are doing the right thing by protecting your children, probably. But you are doing it wrongly. So you are breaking the law in the meantime. So even when we say, let's do policy framework of internationalization, do it legally. by following the law. And the law allows you to even apply and say, I want to bring in this particular skills. So I'm making this example because there's people who don't listen when we talk sometimes about what is legal and what is not legal. These members are not xenophobic. They can never be. But they've got fiduciary responsibility to defend the constitution, the legislation, and the acts of this country. They are lawmakers for God. So we must allow them to do that we must do. I hope we'll not have these problems tomorrow. I hope this process, which you spoke about, that you are going to advertise in August, happens. Because your union will start fighting you. And then tomorrow you'll say, no, unions, they're like that. But they'll have legitimate reasons. That I've got members here who, by the way, the second phase of our battle with the universities is that this law, MAMPI says, once you appoint these people on internationalization framework, they must do what we call the skills transfer. The second phase of our battles with them, some of them have been here for 15, 16, 17 years. They've not transferred skill to anybody. So we're going to ask them, where is this skill transferred to after 17 years? And by the way, if that has not been done and your employment contract said you must transfer skill, it means you got paid and then you did not satisfy your employment contract. You did not deliver. So somebody must tell them, when we are done with clarifying this part, we are going to the next phase. And if they were given, what do you call this thing, extensions, but 10 years extension, you must tell us on what basis. When you could not prove the conditions of employment, that's it. Transfer skill to NSFAS. And if you can't see NSFAS anywhere, means you did not transfer, unless if they are going to kill a lot of people. They're going to say, no, you see that one was ready, and then he passed away. So what it means, they must go kill a lot of people. Because unfortunately, that's what we must do. Does not make us popular. No, I get professor, and all of that. Honorable, before we close.
Thank you, Chair. Deputy Principal Corporate, HR Manager, corporate, in your understanding, what is the qualification requirement of an HR manager at entry level?
Qualification requirement, it must be diploma in HR.
Diploma in HR,
yes,
that is by the time you hire them?
Yes.
Okay, when did you acquire your diploma in HR?
2023.
And how long have you been the HR manager?
I started acting in 2023, I think.
You think?
Yes, I'm not sure, but around there.
I know exactly when I took my oath of office for the first time as a member of parliament. Surely you know what now
I'm not sure, ma'am, but I know around that time.
How's it now? Ma'am,
it's been years, ma'am. I've been acting for years, so really, I can't remember.
Deputy Principal Corporate, do you know Urna learning HR manager?
No, ma'am, I found him here.
When did you arrive?
I arrived in September 2023.
September 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
And he was already here?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was here before you?
Mr. Manana.
Tate Manana?
Thank you, ma'am.
Tate Manana, when was Tate office learning more?
As we indicated in our presentation, that the post was vacant 30 June 2023. Yes.
And that's when he started acting in the post?
Yes. If maybe he was assisting before, because I was transferred from Sibande to the regional office as an acting deputy director corporate before I was appointed permanent. By that time, I think he was not going to be appointed in that position because I was still there, but acting as a deputy director corporate. And I vacated the post 1st July.
So you vacated the post and he came in after you?
Yes.
Okay. When did you get your diploma again?
2023, ma'am.
When?
I can't remember the exact date. I'll have to check, but I can't remember the exact date.
Not possible. It is not. Ntate, what is your name?
It's Bongani Longolo, ma'am.
Babilong?
Yes, ma'am.
It is not possible that one, you do not know when you got a diploma. Or not, as an academic, even worse.
I know.
Number two, it is not possible that you do not know when you were appointed in the position that you're serving in. That's not possible.
That's why I'm saying, ma'am, in 2023, but I can't remember the exact date. But I can be able to check that and provide the correct.
In your understanding, did you have, when you occupied the position, did you have your diploma?
No, ma'am.
You did
when
not?
I started, no.
You did not?
Yes.
Who appointed you?
I was appointed by the former principal to act in an interim. While there was... Yes, ma'am.
And when you were appointed, was it your understanding that the position that you were being appointed to required you to have the diploma that you didn't have at the time of taking that office?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you were appointed, were you earning the full salary scale of your position?
No, it was an acting, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So you were not earning a salary that was specific to the acting, you were earning a salary anyway?
Yes, I was earning as the appointment as a senior HR practitioner.
As a?
Senior HR practitioner.
Senior HR practitioner, your qualifications, I think,
it's a diploma in HRM.
And you didn't have that one too.
Yeah.
So you were acting, you were permanently appointed in a position without the necessary qualifications, earning a salary for that position, and then acted in a senior position to the one you were permanently appointed to, acted without the requisite qualifications. Is my understanding correct?
Okay. When I was appointed as a senior HR practitioner, at that time I was having a diploma in administration.
Ndade, akere kwa Nsankaraba.
Yes,
You were the one who told me that the prerequisite qualification is the diploma in HR.
Correct, ma'am.
So what are you answering? I'm asking you based on your own submissions of what you needed as qualification for the position you were occupied for, you were appointed at, and earning a salary for.
Yes.
So I resubmit. Am I correct in my assessment that in the position you did not have the necessary qualification required?
Yes, correct, ma'am.
For how long were you employed in that position? Do you remember that at least? Or was it years?
It's yes, ma'am.
So for years that you cannot recall or count how many there are, you were employed in this institution in a position without the necessary qualifications, earning a salary. After that, you were promoted to a higher office, still without the qualifications. Principal, I have a problem. When I see now I don't have time again, Chair, because there's a pattern of leadership decisions that are taken in your institutions that are wrong. It cannot be that the staff must have morale or aspire to one day holding better offices than the offices that they currently hold, if this is the reality of your HR management. The custodian of human resources, actually. And even he did not follow the rules. So were you aware of this?
No, I'm not aware.
You're
of
hearing it for the first time in this room.
Yes, I'm not aware. I was a campus manager here, but I don't know how the processes were happening at central office.
So you're saying again, for the record,
yes,
in front of the entire institution and the Republic of South Africa,
yes,
that you are hearing for the first time today in this room this conversation. You had zero clue, you did not know.
On the acting one, yes, we knew at the time that he was acting, but the qualification, he was still in progress with it. He was still studying for HR diploma. But the initial qualification, I didn't know what he had in his hand in terms of the previous qualification posts.
Do you take an undertaking as the head of this institution right now that you will conduct an investigation and get to the bottom of his and other people's employment processes and present that to the committee before the end of October?
Yes, noted, madam.
Thank you.
Look into that. Thank you.
Yeah. Problem how you guys answer. Put yourselves in trouble. The department and the institution. I think in February this year, we had a meeting with the performance, the quarterly performance, if I'm not mistaken, MP, of the department. And when we were in that meeting, we asked, maybe let me start it afresh. On the 2nd of September 2025, we had our strategic session, Chairperson. Ours was last year, September 2025. We went to a place called Calydon in Cape Town. In that strategic session, the department told us that, with the presentation, that there was money that went back to Treasury on student housing infrastructure. And this money, so there's two, Majuba and Sibande, which we asked what happened. And they said to us in writing, the reason why that student housing thing could not proceed at that time was because you guys did not have capacity to implement it. So this is the first report in writing. Then in February this year, 2026, I'm actually mixing issues. In that meeting, they said there was a delay from the ministerial approval. This was in September 2025. So in essence, before you could do anything, the process must or needs the minister to approve for you guys to start whatever the project. That's what they said to us in September. When we were in the meeting in February this year, we actually fought with the department. The minister was in the office, was in the meeting. And planning, I was looking around here, actually when I remember the question. There's a person who introduced themselves earlier on as somebody who comes from planning division of the department. Oh, it's yourself? Yeah. So I remember I was looking around here wanting to check. When we were in that meeting, because the minister was now in the meeting with us, the department's response changed. And it moved from requiring a ministerial approval to capacity problem of Majuba and Gert. Chair, I'll give you, maybe you'll also comment. But Principal, what is the comment about that student housing infrastructure program? What is the problem? Because you guys spoke about, now, when we're doing, I asked intentionally, when we're doing oversight at the workshops, that where do these kids come from? My intention was to find out how far must they travel when they finish. Because I knew there was this issue of student housing, that the money was given and it was not given, something like that. Money was somewhere. So when I was asking about where do these kids come from and how far do they travel. It was in relation to this particular response. I don't know if you have a comment, Principal.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. I will respond and also maybe ask the Deputy Principal Finance to add, as they are also forming the part of the committee. We have the committee that was formed by the department that comprises of DPSA officials from the department, Majuba, and also Sibande, which is a joint committee that seeks to drive how do we then implement the project of the ship. As I had alluded, Chairperson, that we had received the money as an institution, which was 329 million at the time that we had received, and it was reinvested, and now it is on 410 million, the money that it's currently on our account. Not yet started with the project, pending the process and also the guidance from the committee that has been formed by the department. So we had received the approval letter last year, July, that was signed off by the minister. So that has given us a go-ahead as an institution. I would maybe, if there are some additional things that maybe the CFO need to do I would just give it to him, but the process is still ongoing with the engagement that have been done between the DPSA, Department of Higher Education, and also Sibande, Deputy Principal Finance Corporate, and also the other sister college that is involved. Thank you so much, Chairperson.
Sorry, DP Finance, as you come in, you got the approval in July
2025.
What do you still need to commence with the project?
Thank you, Chairperson. When we received the approval, if I recall, one of the requirements is that we need to finalize the deed transfer for the land. But like the way Principal is explaining, that we have formed the committee, which is the Gert, Majuba, DBSA, and DHET. It came to attention that the feasibility study that is there, it was done in March 2022, which was based on the rates that was previously for NSFAS. So from that committee, the DBSA advised that we should have the updated feasibility study that will need even to update the operation and maintenance cost plans, so that at least we will have a recent figures that it will be evidence how much we'll need to maybe to finalize the project. So the meeting that we have in June, this June, we did discuss. On the 30th, we have received the proposed approach from DBSA, so we still have to sit and discuss the approach that will attend to this matter.
Yeah, that's just not good enough, of course. And I want to use your calendar. I've got a different calendar, but for the purposes of progress, I'm going to use your calendar that you got the money in June 2025. And in July, on September 2026, you are still saying you are discussing to get a new feasibility. Well, that one is outdated. That's just not good enough. And this is not good enough because the intended beneficiaries of this project, or this program, continue to suffer some injustice. You know, I always speak for young girls because I understand how difficult it is to be I've not lived as a young girl. I can see how difficult it is to be a young girl in South Africa. If this thing of student accommodation, we don't finish it, Principal, and this now I must speak to you as a leader of the institution in charge, you are likely going to get young people here who you want to graduate as male rights fitters, going to the Bailo Hirakodi room in neighboring places. And if it happens that Hana Cheltaupata, you're forcing them to try and do things that normally or morally and ethically they will not do if they had those men. So you're not pushing this thing. Creates a big problem for me, for us. And your response is just not, satisfying. I want to say, I'll give you a chair. I want to say, we know for a fact that in this money, the first tranche was paid in 2022-2023 financial year, because these financial years are being audited. So it's not true that the money was paid in June 2025. And I just keep quiet because, sometimes it's like you are saying, we want to see what can they do. The second tranche was paid in 23-24, was it 24-25? 24-25. So it's not true that money came in. It's like you're surprised. Boom, money came in. We don't know what we're going to do about it. Let's bring in, let's form a committee. No, it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. And it's sad. This thing, man, breaks my heart that we have people who are working in our institutions who, at least at the face of, seems like they don't care. There's a lot of good work that I thought, in closing, I'm going to speak about, that I saw here, Principal. But like discouraged to speak about the positives that I've seen, the cleanness of this campus, the cleanness of the other campus we went to. Monta Tengwenya was taking us. We did not even go to all of them because Monta Tengwenya were satisfied with what we saw. We can see when something is being prepared for us. There was nothing that was being prepared. Mona can tell you that the roof was painted a few weeks ago in preparation for us. No, I can tell you. Because, but there are certain things we can see. there's something good that in the skill center, at least we saw. You know, when we arrived there, we looked at all the corners. Right? You know, when visitors arrive and we're not ready, so when we arrive, as we first look at the corners, and when we see it's clean, we believe that at least the house, you know, you are tidy. But now, you know, I wanted to speak about the positive things there, but that are discouraged. Chairperson, before we close. No, we are bringing new issues. No. You actually took me by surprise. You said you are doing a follow-up, and then you asked me that there's a new question. No, I don't want you to ask again now because we could throw somebody by a surprise. That's why that MC and all. No,
Thank you very much, Chair. I welcome the comments that you've made to say that we indeed have delayed the project. But I would like to bring this to your attention, Chair, that for strides to actually happen, for the land to be transferred, it was because the college decided to take the initiative. So you know what, let's sort out this problem of the title deeds. Now, in the process of us that, with a briefing from the principal that no, there's a new committee formed by DBSA. But that time we have a PRCC committee of council that can look at these things, because I thought that is the responsibility of that. So we then, you know, the process no longer in our hands. Initially, I thought the process was in the hands of the college because the money is in the coffers of the college. But the preparations thereof, now I'm told that DHET is the one that is this comments delayed. Chair, I would like maybe to just bring in that perspective to say that we don't have full control over this project. As much as the principal may account, there's only limited accountability that she can do. In fact, it's DHET and DBSA that must come in and guide, because sometimes when you ask about it in council, the principal will say, no, we're waiting for DHET to call the meeting, or we're waiting for DHET to give a directive. So to a larger extent, DHET needs to account for why the student housing infrastructure project is not has not started. Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much. We'll note that, and okay, we'll note that. I hope you have noted that. It's yourself. No, don't answer. Just note it. The funds were allocated, like I said, the first tranche 2022, 2023. And maybe to the defense of the DP Finance, they could not do anything because there was no ministerial approval. Maybe to your defense a bit. And this feasibility, have you started with this feasibility study? No, you have not started. So you don't know when you will finish it because you have not. So the implementing agent is DBSA. Okay. So and I just noted this part because I think we must write to DBSA and the department to clarify on this thing. Unions, I want to thank you. I also like democracy. How many unions you have there? 4, 5. Also you are counting because I get you are putting together a presentation, so you would have known that no 5. So you see, Honorable Khakhaw, it's normal for people to not to remember because they had a presentation done last week and there were 5. No, others are stay. No, I hear it. I know where you are going. I agree with you. But I want to thank you. Please continue. I think the numbers that the principal spoke about earlier on the throughput, the pass rate, and there's a gentleman here who introduced himself as a person of what do you call it? Partnership. Yeah, where is the? Yeah, we saw some of your people. I think even on the presentation, your Siritis, your what. Really appreciate, because for us that's what a TVET college should do. A TVET college, firstly, if you have partnership with industry, when you put together a curriculum, especially on the practical side of things, you should do that with the industry. So that, for an example, if here you've got a mine, Siritiki mining, what do they mine there? Coal. Yeah, if you are going to teach people how to do coal mining, and you don't put, the curriculum is not designed by you and industry, you are going to teach people how to mine gold, and you expect Siriti to absorb that. But if they are part of the process, you are in partnership with them. It's easier for Siriti to say, all artisans who come from Gert Sibande, who have done this thing of coal, or of fitting to fix my machines, the conveyor belts that I take this mile from this to that thing. They have confidence in hiring your people. So we always say to the MCPA, to TVET colleges. I was actually disappointed early this year when we were in PE, not PE, just outside PE. What is that? 18H, where we're at PE TVET college. I don't think in South Africa there's a TVET college that is what we call a geographically advantageous area like that one. When you leave the gate of PE TVET, there's Isuzu, the big plant Isuzu. You can do, in that vicinity, you've got fitment centers where they, teach people how to maintain tires. You've got where they manufacture tires, not far from there, where they manufacture brake pads. And just outside of that area, you had the VW plant, where VW plant, that one, maybe 10 minutes away from that college. They are the sole producers of a Polo Vivo that they produce for all over the world. So if you travel and you go to Germany and you see a Polo Vivo, you must know it's done in South Africa. Everything else, everything of it. So there's no TVET college that is so advantageous geographically. How fitla mole ba teacher business management. There's nothing wrong with business management. But when you're there, you should be a full artisan. Produce people who are going to work there at those people who do the break packs. You do their curriculum with them. So you are guaranteed all your kids, when they graduate, they're employed. There's no two ways about it. But you know it's a matayri, then you've got wheel and tire, whatever. There's no way, because these people, they are there. They are seriously in a geographically advantageous area. It's like when you are in, not Caledon, from Kimberley to Cape Town, there's this Sutherland. There's a place called Sutherland in South Africa. It's every day. I don't think it rains there. But every day, you can see all the stars, every day. They call it a geographically advantageous area in that space. People, not far from there, people have got this, telescopes. Countries have brought, I mean, the space, of America, they've got something. They call it a geographically advantageous in terms of size. That TVET has got that thing. What you are doing here, my brother, continue. Get more. Including municipalities. Our driver, municipality will help you how to close. You must have this partnership so that the children of this college go out there and become problem solvers. Very solid. But want to thank you, workers. Continue working. Sometimes you'll have this thing, but I want to encourage workers working at TVET colleges. Continue. I know some of you, when you go to other colleges, you'll tell us about PPN. You'll tell us about what is that word? Not rationalization. Once the one that you don't pay them, you say they must go to school. After improving their qualification, you don't pay them. What do you call it? Yeah, the improving of your things. I know you have those problems, but I'm encouraged by some of the unions and some institutions. They do have an opportunity to raise their issues with management and council. They don't. Then we come here. Then issues that they must raise with them, they raise with us. The reason I was asking you at the beginning was to clarify that, and I'm glad you clarified it, that it's not smooth sailing, but there is a relationship. We want to, for me, that's very important. Students, Liluna, continue. Lalika striker, please don't ban our infrastructure. If you do so, it will be us who arrest you, who get you arrested. Because now once you start banning infrastructure, you become a criminal. So we'll treat you as such. Honorable Kakao says that she was passing here, that don't ban our infrastructure, must ban management. That's not my view. Management of Sibande, thank you very much. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for being with us. I know some of you may not have spoken or responded, but I know you are supporting some of the line managers, and we really appreciate the principal and your team. Chairperson, Deputy Chair, I think there's 2 council members. I hope I'm not missing anybody. Chair and Deputy Chair. The Chair of Council says is the youngest chair of the chairs in South Africa. You see that, Yeah, so thank you very much, Council of Gert Sibande. We're still in a meeting. Can I get in position here? But maybe another question for I use your voice. No, not you, sir. I'm talking about that gentleman at the back. Okay, let's leave him. Department officials from the region and the head office. I really appreciate the regional manager and the MC powers, leaders of those delegations. They really appreciate office of the deputy minister and the minister. Thank you very much. I hope you took notes of issues that are said to be stumbling block. Office of the Director General and DDGs that are here. Thank you very much. NSFAS. You guys are cruising these days. We used to go to meetings and NSFAS will dominate 95% of our problem. Today, Kaya only responded once. I don't think we're in the right meeting. I think tomorrow in Kanga, I might need to mobilize some people. No, I'm joking. I can't do that to NSFAS. You are already having problems on your own, so I can't add. But thank you very much, NSFAS. NSF, thank you very much. NSF, Sheimbazama, now they're trying sometimes. I sometimes go see, are we seeing your project this Friday? Okay. So on Friday we're not seeing your project? No, okay. But they are trying sometimes. Sometimes they are just bad. And I've written to them, I think their response should be in now. They owe us a response for today. Team from Parliament, a capable team, thank you very much. Content advisor, researcher, the secretariat, very capable team, that one. Dr. Balkrishan, very capable, Balkrishan. No, I'm telling Dr. Balkrishan that we've got a very solid team. Yeah. So from the office of the chairperson, because it now says, I must clarify that the deputy chairperson echoes the same one. So So I don't know who I've not thanked. I hope I've thanked everybody. Yeah, no, that's true. The principal, please send our gratitude to your catering team. I think they did a very good job, even though meat was very little. And there was no chicken. Honorable Sazana does not eat meat. He eats chicken. So he could not eat what they gave him. No, I believe the deputy chair. But we want to please thank them for us. All of them. All of them are young. There was one who's particularly looked a bit aged. But I think she's the supervisor. Oh yeah, no, supervisor. No, but they did a very good job. In fact, earlier on, I worked with David when I needed tea. Earlier on, I went that site and I asked them to bring fruits. But I brought scones and I came to drink tea earlier on, just maybe an hour or two before lunch. And I saw that kitchen. I went there where we ate during lunch. Very clean, very properly set up. So when we went there for lunch, you only saw the prepared food. There was, what is this word? Yadi baker. What is that one? There was a lot of those bakered pastry things. A lot of pastry there earlier on, which I saw there. Very good thing. So I want to thank you, Principal. If there were questions that were not responded to, we'll give the department 3 months to resolve issues that needs to be resolved. Your issues of DBSA, we'll give them 3 months to give us a report, because we don't want to come and do oversight, including payments of markers. The department know in 3 months, today 3 August, September, 3 November, maybe because they must go vote. 3 November. Yeah, about 6, no, 5, maybe some of them will be party agents. You can just see with the smiles that they are good people, so they'll vote correct. So about 11 November, they will respond to us how they are resolving your problems that you have raised, all of them, including the farms, including whether the farm is still yours or not. What are we going to do? All of those things. We probably will write to you, give you the exact date. It will probably be 3 plus 7, 10, about 10 November. So we'll give you a week after 3 months, so that you are able to respond to us. But the department knows, the students, that ours is about making sure the system works well for everybody, works well for students, incentivize workers who do well, and from a departmental point of view, it incentivizes colleges that perform well. So I don't know if this year you've got participants at the World Skills in China. Yeah, all the best. Prepare them. China is about 4 years ahead of the rest of the world, probably 10 years ahead of us. I went to your World Skills in Durban. Many of them were doing well. But those of you who went to World Skills before, there it's about the speed at which you do something, the accuracy. Those people, they build a wall from here to there at 3 times, 4 times the speed. By the time they're done, our Susama quotas halfway. And it's not because of capability, it's because they've been prepared 3 years before. You'll see those of you who will go there. Once the ones who are participating now, they were in not Lyon 24. Where were you in 22? They were in World Skills 2022, Germany. Those who were the second, those who will be number 1 now for China. They were in Germany 2022. They were learning from these ones. So this is their 3rd year literally. Rona ours will be 1st year, competing there only after competing at the nationals here in South Africa. So all the best, and hopefully in Lyon, where I can't remember what number we were. In our local class. We're very good in singing. No, let me tell you. Entering. When participants enter, I think South Africa takes number 1 almost all the time. Problem is the competition. So we must improve the competition. But I think all the best to those that will go. I hope the college will support, because in Lyon, one of the biggest problems, and this was the problem of the department, is that these athletes did not have the support structure. They did not have mentors. They only had coaches. But remember, these kids, they're out of the country for the first time. They are in China, it was. Well, there they were speaking French, so they will not hear anybody. Abaso Mozambique, Matinaka France. No, is China. So they need support mentally, so that some of them will miss home. Some of them, while competing, somebody might pass away at home. So they need all kinds of support. Don't underestimate it. Some of them, you see this boy of Sundowns, he committed suicide. And I was telling people that people take mental health lightly. It's not a joke. It's a very big thing. So we need mental support. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And I think we've said everything. Honorable Khakha, is there anything we forgot? Thanks. The meeting is adjourned. Your things are cold there. You want to see them?